Wait, hold on. What if I do this?
I've got my container of grapes. And yes, it can.
Is it a contained container?
No, it's not
It's a.
contained.
No, it's not really contained. It's a container full of grapes and water.
Are you having grape cereal?
No.
That sounds
No,
nasty.
No, with what I do with grapes, and I don't know why they taste better this way, but they do, is I take them off of the branches. Dog, get away. And then.
Wait, I'm
and
sorry.
then-
What?
IRL Scorch over here, like.
Yeah.
No, so I take them off the branch when I first get them, and then I put them in a Tupperware container. I fill said Tupperware container with water
Mhm.
and let it sit in the fridge for a day before I start eating them.
Mm.
And I don't know why, but they just taste so much better, and they're really crisp.
Were you saying Tupperware or Tubberware?
I didn't want to point it out either.
I said Tupperware.
Okay, it is Tupper, Tupper.
No, it's Tupper.
I promise you. I swear on a stack of Bibles, it is Tupperware.
No, I'm gonna say Tubber now too. It's Tubber.
I'm telling.
no,
Hold on. I am telling you. Tupperware. Their website. Tupperware. It's all one word. Tupperware.
I am 100% sure that it is Tupperware.
Nope.
Look.
Nope.
I will
Nope.
literally put it. Well, I don't know why the link is so stinking long, but hold on. Google be Google. Right there.
Page. It's Tubberware.
It is
No, it's-
Tupperware.
No, it is pronounced Tupperware.
Okay, the DM is officially on the warpath to knock out some of these characters that are mispronouncing the word.
Neon, give me a second.
I'm
'Cause I have an
officially staying
actual-
neutral in this fight. Hi, it's me. I'm Switzerland.
There we go. I have photographic evidence because I actually have Tupperware containers.
No, it is pronounced Tupperware.
Yep, it's Tubberware.
I will tell you, you will get 5 matching whatever container and lid. You put them in your cupboard. You open the cupboard a week later, and you will have 6 lids and 4 bowls, and have no idea where the 6th lid came from.
Melon
This is very.
Go ahead.
This is very true. Also, that is pronounced Tupperware, not
I am
Tupperware.
going to rage.
I
As the
have
kids say, I'm going to crash
photographic
out.
Evidence. I have photographic
Wait,
evidence
I
in the
provided
chat
the
right now.
website.
Cool. I mean, photographic evidence is cool and all, but when you're wrong, it really is
You
not
know what? I
helping.
can't actually be mad because I have had the conversation with people that I don't believe we went to the moon in 1969, and people do the same thing, and I'm like, nope, I'm sorry, I still believe this. I can't be mad.
It might be just like a thing from up where I live, but everyone up here calls it.
I was
calls it
gonna say
Tupperware.
it's definitely a regional thing.
It's definitely a regional thing.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But also,
Okay.
we didn't go to the moon in 69.
Okay.
They did.
I don't want to
I've
get
never
started
been.
on this one, please. Thank you.
That is a conversation. Although that was a very
Hey.
funny point of clarification, so well done, Ty.
Are you kidding? I have the camera they used to film it in my room.
That took me a second. That's good. Okay. Is everybody back to their respective computers?
I
No, I'm at NASA right now.
Oh, you taking part in the second moon landing?
No, I just had to
A little late
back
for the
their
second one.
building.
I'm currently in the rotunda of the state capitol, or the country capital. What I don't know what it's called.
State, which is called wait, I think nation's capital.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. As we return, I'm gonna do my best to do a recap here. I have already warned Melon. Ty was deafened at the time. Some of my notes disappeared. Like, legitimately were gone. I don't know what happened. I took notes last time in kind of preparation for this session, and I saw them for a brief second when I turned my notes on, and then I hit like the update button to make sure that my pages were up to date, and something got deleted or something, and they're just gone. So I had to kind of start
Hey.
over.
Nice job, Neon.
Yeah, it was great. It was fantastic. I'm still don't want to talk about it. But yeah, so there's that. The other thing is because it's been a very stressful week work related. So my memory's a little shot right now. So if I forget things and ask you, bear with. I am doing my best. But that being said, last session, you guys were all scattered to the four winds in enjoying the city of Duruun, adventuring and exploring, having getting some errands taken care of, having some traumatic moments happen for unknown reasons at this time, trying to deduce their purpose here in the city and this plane of existence, and trying to figure out next steps moving forward, and also coming into some oh, thank you. Yes, I forgot. I am hashtag pro streamer. There we go.
Pro streamer move.
Yeah, 100%. Speaking of which, I need to do this. See if that works. There we go. Okay. But yes, and you guys had kind of ventured out and done this. And one of you actually is kind of gearing up for a little bit of a bout to try and basically win a small wager of being able to stay in what seems to be some sort of fight club, or getting kicked out.
We don't talk about Fight Club.
We don't talk about fight club. Well, we don't know yet because it depends on if you get kicked out or not. That being said, what we're going to do is we kind of talked about this at the end of the last session, but we're going to try to pull some of you guys together today. But we're going to start with, we're actually going to jump down to Daxori.
Yeah.
Dax, the last we left you off, you and Scorch had made your kind of wandered down to the southern end of the city in Depatos Village, where the Duruun Arena is located. And actually, hold on, I forgot to add it in here. 1 second.
Do I still have that 1 point of exhaustion?
You do, because you haven't rested since then.
That's right.
Yeah.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, because you had a really rough night, unfortunately. So yes, at this current time, you do still have 1 point of exhaustion, which is something that will come into play basically depending on, how things progress.
Yeah.
But for basically, I was able to do this. So you guys, you and Scorch, you guys are basically there.
Oh.
This is essentially what the arena looks like. It is finished. It's not overgrown like this image, but it is basically grass in the center with sort of a dirt running track around the border. And essentially the group of individuals that you found yourself engaging with are in the very center on that grass patch.
Yes.
And as you have kind of approached this area, you've been confronted by an individual who has yet to introduce himself, but is a satyr. Who looks kind of rough. Looks like he's been around the block a bit, but has kind of a southern twang to his voice, and he kind of looks like that.
Yeah, he looked on the younger side too.
Yes,
right?
he is younger-ish. I mean, he's kind of the equivalent of like mid-20s, like lower to mid-20s. And he has kind of challenged you to a fistic, like a bout, not like weapons fighting, but sort of hand-to-hand combat. And if you win, you get to stay and kind of partake in this sort of club. And if you lose, you are been told you can't come back. What we're going to do for this is, as he leads you kind of out into the center of this roped-off ring that I described last session, that's kind of surrounded by a hodgepodge mixture of all sorts of manner of folk. Humans, tieflings, half-orcs, halflings, dwarves. I mean, there's all sorts of manner of people here, and all of them...
Are there tieflings?
There's a couple of them, but they're kind of... like, you kind of see them scattered throughout the crowd, and they're... they all just kind of look very kind of laid back and kind of laughing with each other, and everyone here is covered in various levels of bruises, and bloody lips, and busted cheeks, and no broken bones or anything that you can see immediately, but people look a little battered. And as this satyr leads you out into the roped-off ring, he crosses to the far side, turns around, and takes off a few of his outer weaponry and sticks them on the ground next to him, but leaves. He has some ones, like I said, they're kind of strapped to his hips, kind of not his hips, his thighs, kind of tightly. He doesn't mess with
Yeah.
those, but most of his larger gear comes off, and he turns around, and as he turns, you can see he's wrapping cloth around his hands, kind of like the lightweight boxer glove wrap, essentially.
Yeah.
He's kind of prepping himself for that as he turns around and says, "All right, you need anything before we get started?"
So last time, if I remember correctly, Dax had told Scorch to kind of just sit down, and she'd given him a bone.
Yep, he's numbing.
And he was on the other side. She had taken off her jacket, which contains all of her weaponry,
Okay.
put it down next to him. So she's kind of so right now she's kind of just wearing a I'm trying to think of the best way to describe it. I can't think of it. She's wearing, first off, I'll just say she's wearing very flexible clothing for a shirt. And so she steps in, she's on the other side, and she kind of just shakes her head and crosses her arms and kind of does a little bit of a lean. Because she's not foreign to fighting. She's had to do it multiple times, not only in her adventures with the new group she's met, but also in her past.
Sure.
So she kind of shakes her head and is like, "No, I don't need anything. Ready whenever you are."
Okay. So what we're gonna do then is go ahead and roll me an initiative roll.
That's my D20
And
plus 3.
Okay. And this is gonna be his roll. Oops. Why am I rolling for Tippy?
you're nope. So that's Tipsberry's roll.
That's funny. All right.
Do I have disadvantage for does that affect initiative roll? I can't remember.
Not for your initiative. It'll for checks and such. It can.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't. That's annoying. I can't build out.
Can you not just roll like a regular D20 just?
Oh, I did, and that's what I did for it's a 19, but he has a +4 to his dex, so it's going to be a 23 for his initiative.
Brah.
Yeah. So we're just
Okay,
gonna
well, let me see what Dax gets.
Okay.
Probably not anything close to that, but we'll see. Actually, she gets a dirty 20.
Dirty 20 plus. Oh, that's total. So dirty 20. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's
Yep. Okay. So yeah, so he's gonna go first. Okay. So as you kind of gear up and get yourself kind of situated, says, "No, I'm good to go." He charges at you, and this is we're gonna enter combat for this. But before we get into too heavy of combat, as this guy's running at you, we're gonna quickly zip back over to the wizard and the wand. Talina and Rhea. You guys have been sitting in this booth talking for a little bit of time now. There's been kind of a lull in the conversation. But it's clear that there's some tension between the two of you, as well as a lot of curiosity and a lot of intrigue into just each other. When the conversation last left off, I don't exactly recall who was saying what, but I know that you guys do. So I'm just going to go ahead and put you guys, and you're back in the room.
Put you on the spot.
Yeah, sorry. I honestly don't remember exactly where our conversation left off.
Sure.
So
That makes
we'll
3.
just kind of go with new questions. How's
Okay.
that sound?
I know I did drop. We did trade Rhea's name for Cassavant's name.
Yes.
Yes.
And you do know that Cassavus was the individual that led her and her friends in the direction of what you know of, basically.
Mm-hmm. So, Talina, how did you meet Cassavus?
It's more so that they met me.
Tends to be the way it's done.
Given that you two have a history, I'm assuming that you know his little helper, butler, errand boy, whatever his job title is.
The cute little, I want to say, an ankle biter.
Sure, we'll go with ankle biter while he's not here. Yeah, they apparently saw me and some others prevent disaster at the West Docks, and we did some dispatching of some lizardry from the
Now,
river.
Rhea, you would have remembered this. You would have heard the whispers and the stories around the city of a large sea serpent that just randomly appeared for the first time ever at the Duruun docks, and that this band of individuals kind of appeared out of nowhere, slayed the beast, saved a man from its gullet, and then kind of disappeared into the ether of the city with almost no track of them.
With a slight eyebrow raise that would be seen as kind of astonishment. So that was your crew. How intriguing.
Crew's a big word. I mean, at that point in time, we were all strangers still.
All it takes is one situation to make a group something more.
As she mentally goes over like the people that were there and then the people that are no longer part of the group. Yeah, some come and go.
Oh? Well, I'm sorry to hear. Perhaps we might meet with Cassivus. Discuss your antics. I'm very intrigued to learn more about you and your friends.
Well, why go through Cassivus if you want to meet us?
Neutral ground.
It's fair. Lucky Tanker's pretty neutral. Public too.
Also fair.
How about at sundown? After I finished up my performance here, we head over there and we'll see if I can get the rest of the gang there too.
Quick pause from discussion. Would her shift, or would she have any work time at the Lucky Tankard come around that time?
That's up to her. She can choose to go pull a shift, or she can basically try to it's basically up to how she would like to do it.
I'm going under the impression that it's still Sunday in universe.
In
my second work day.
Yes, I admit I'm really bad with days of the week in D&D, so yes, it is Sunday in universe.
Bet.
I'm good with
Certainly.
it's this number of days, like it's been this long, but I'm like I don't know if it's Friday at 3, like.
If
Hey,
I worked yesterday but not the day before, then today's Sunday.
At least you're using Sunday through Saturday days instead of creating your own new day system.
Well, technically, actually, Tyrope and I had this conversation. Technically, it's the Critical Role day system, which is a 7-day week, but it's names that I'm really bad with. But to make life easier, it's common is like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Okay. Anyways, I can certainly meet you there. Maybe I'll be in something you'll recognize this time.
Well, having seen your face, it'll be hard to recognize at this point.
It was great meeting you, Talena. She would finish her drink, stand up. I look forward to meeting the rest of your friends.
All you get back from that is a small, friendly grin. And a small nod as you walk off.
Mm-hmm. So Rhea would leave the Wizard and Wand and move back to her residence to change into her general attire and then probably wander about before going to the
Okay.
lucky tankard near the end of the day.
Okay, sounds good. So as you two depart from each other, and Rhea leaves and kind of carry about the rest of her day, Selena, do you do anything before sundown, or are you just gonna kind of kill some time?
Yeah, I'm gonna to make sure that this meet actually happens. I'm going to sending to Dax, and I'll get you the exact wording when I figured it out. But that'll probably be slightly later, so after whatever's going on over there.
Okay.
To meet at the tankard.
Yeah. Okay. So you cast sending to Dax, you said?
Yeah.
Okay. So Dax, before we jump over, because we're gonna jump over to Tippy here in a second. Actually, let's jump to Tippy first. So we're gonna jump to Tippy. Tippy, you've wrapped up a conversation with Cassavus, and he has just basically sent Spitwick off into the back room to fetch you a bag. You see is you wait kind of nervously and kind of excitedly, and after a beat or two, Spitwick does return, and he's carrying a very small leather bag that's just big enough for you, but to anybody else would basically be the equivalent of like a large coin purse. And he brings it over and hands it to Cassavus, and Cassavus kind of looks it over and then holds it out for you. Will this do for you, my dear?
Tippy's gonna take it, inspect it for a second, and then try it on and be like, it works.
Very well. It is yours, as long as you, as I said, are willing to help me with a few things.
Sure.
Very well. With that, Spitwick kind of comes over, and it looks like and as Cassavus looks over him, Spit looks like he has something to say to him, and Cassavus leans over and whispers into his ear, and he goes, very well. Well, it seems your, shall we say, acquaintances we mentioned before have been quite busy. If you wish, it sounds like there could be something going on at the arena in the south part of the city. I just got word that one of the individuals you were with seems to be down there getting into some interesting initiations. Otherwise, I imagine you'd probably find your friends back at the Lucky Tankard sometime today.
That's good to know.
Yes. Also, I just added that to your inventory, so you don't have a bag of holding. A small one. It's a little one. It's not one of the big ones. Because
It's a baby bag of holding.
well, what I mean is like I think it's the DM's guide. I have to go back and look specifically, but there are like levels of bag of holding as far as like size and what they can hold. But in Foundry, there's just one. It's just a bag of holding. So realistically, it doesn't make a huge difference. But just so that you're aware, you have a little bag of holding. So the opening is quite small.
So I can't fit dead bodies in it. Got it.
Not unless it's like a bird. You're not gonna fit a whole dead human in there.
I put their fingers in it.
Yeah.
And their toes.
We're the good guys, remember?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, he hands it to you. You try it on, and and then as you're kind of like fitting it, you look up, and he's walking towards the door and kind of holding it open, and says, "You and I will be in touch, my dear."
Okay. Tippy's gonna jump off the couch and scurry towards the door.
Okay. Best of luck. Let me know if you need anything.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. And then he like nods as he closes the door behind you, and the door. You're now standing in that like stone hallway, and you can see, like where the opening would be. Like you see the end of the hall essentially from where you came in before, but it's still a wall.
Tippy's gonna head towards, I guess, she's gonna get lost going to the arena.
Okay. Roll me a I think it would be a survival check.
Try to close the person. You said survival, right?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Why survival gotta be way there? Way at the bottom. Be 13.
13. Sorry, I was looking away for a second. Okay, so with a 13, you you make your way across the city because you know south. Like, it's not hard for you to determine south, but because of the winding streets and you're not used to a city like this and various like directions and alleyways and, well, I can't go south here, so how do I get south? It takes you the better part of a couple of hours to actually make your way to the southern edge of the city before you start to see, before like the very tip top of the arena, towering over the other dwellings and buildings surrounding the area. Yeah, so it takes you about, I'd say about 2 hours, if not 3, to get. I'd say actually more close to 3 hours to actually get to the south part of this the city. And with that, we're gonna pan back over to Dax. In this whole time that all this has been going on, this satyr has just rushed you, and he is running at you. So let's go ahead and... Yep. Okay. So, we are now... I'm going to have to do this old school because the encounter thing needs actual combatants, which I only have one of. So, round 1, fight. Okay, he rushes you, and he goes in, and he attempts to basically try to kind of slide down and knock your legs out from underneath you. So, he is going to... what's your AC?
One moment.
Is it high? Is it lower than a 17?
Yes.
Okay, so he comes in and he sweeps out and knocks you and hits your legs out from underneath you. He doesn't it's not a grapple, and he doesn't knock you prone. He just kind of knocks you to your knee for a bit before you're able to get back up. And he's going to do a whopping... it's only going to be 2 points of damage because it's just a bludgeoning attack. It's an unarmed strike. But then it is going to be your turn.
Okay. So, after, standing back up, she is going... How close would he be back?
He's now up to you. He's melee range because he had to run up to you. He basically came up and swept his leg to try to knock one of your legs down, hitting your shin pretty hard, and then kind of spins and turns around and now has his fists up in kind of a readied stance right in front of you.
Okay. How do we want to go about this? So Dax is going to respond by trying to headbutt the guy.
Okay, all right. Go ahead and roll me to attack on that.
It's just my D20, right?
Yes, it's gonna be D20, and it's gonna be plus your strength plus your proficiency to hit. That's an unarmed strike. So it'll be...
Do I find that again?
Well, your proficiency is 3, and your strength is 0, so it's gonna be a D20 plus 3 for you to hit.
D20 plus 3.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Nat 20.
Oh, nat 20. Okay, yeah. All right, so perfect. Go ahead and roll me. So for damage, because it's an unarmed strike, it's going to be your strength plus your proficiency. Hang on.
Oh crap! I forgot. Do I have to roll advantage?
No, it's only for checks and saving throws.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just checks.
The unarmed strike is just 1 plus
1
your
plus your strength. Yeah. Yep. So it's just so because you have a 0, it's just going to be a hit of 1. But with a nat 20, it doubles, so it would be 2. But you basically come up and just like he spins around, readied up, and before he can even get into a readied stance, you just half step forward and thump right on the nose with your forehead. It doesn't phase you at all, and it knocks him back, and his nose starts to bleed. And yeah, so you deal 2 points of damage to him.
And after doing that, Dax will put her hands up and kind of give a smirk.
Nice. And he kind of like, his head whips back, and everybody hears the crack as you hit his nose, and you hear ooh throughout the crowd around you. And he comes up, and as he looks at you, blood is pouring down his face from the busted nose he now has, and he just kind of has this smirk and goes, I weren't expecting that. And then he goes in to attack you with his turn, and he's going to go ahead, and he just comes in straight with a straight right jab, and he's going to go ahead and it's going to be, what is that? Dice.
Why'd you rolled for me?
It's so annoying. If I have one of you guys clicked, it counts as me rolling for you. It doesn't roll for you. It's the name that pops up if I have a token selected. But I know that it doesn't hit because I know your AC is much higher. So he comes in to jab right in front of you, and you just it goes right next to you, and you're able to dodge it completely. It's your turn now.
Okay. So Dax is going to go ahead, and she's going to try and she's just gonna try and go for a simple either a gun punch or somewhere in the chest.
Okay, just like a kind of a low jab. Go ahead and roll.
Yeah.
Go ahead and make that roll.
And then you said it's +3.
Yes, because it's your proficiency plus your strength, but your strength is
Yeah.
yeah, your strength is
I only
0,
have
yeah.
a +3.
Mhm.
Okay. So I got a 17.
Oh, that absolutely hits. So go ahead and so it'd be it's right, we don't roll for damage on this, so it'd just be 2 points.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So you come in and go, and he goes in for a jab, you dodge, and then as part of the dodge, your other hand just goes right into his gut, into his kidney, and you feel it connect, and everyone else goes, "Oh!" as it hits him, and he recoils a bit, and he lets out a grunt as it hits him. It's like, ah, and then he swings to hit you with his round, and he's gonna go ahead and. Ooh, and so you throw him off. He goes to make a haymaker, like a wide haymaker, and you see it coming. You just duck underneath it. Go ahead and roll for your next attack.
15?
15 does hit. So you duck under his haymaker, and how do you strike him?
She's gonna go for a side punch.
For a side punch, like
She's gonna go try and aim for his side.
For his side. So then you swing with the other hand and crack, and you feel it hit his ribs, and you feel a good hit right into that center mass, and everyone goes as he gets hit, and he gets hit and kind of spins away from you a bit and lets out another grunt. He's like, man, you pack quite a punch. And he seems out of breath already. And then as he says that, he turns and he actually tries to sweep his leg, sweep the leg, and tries to bring his leg around to connect it with your head. And as he swings it around, you strike him. He kind of tips away from you for a bit, and he turns, and before you can even realize what's happening, his leg just is this big Y, just and smacks you right in the face, right across the cheek with his foot. And that he does 3 points of damage to you.
Rip.
And so then you feel this foot hits your face, and obviously it's your go.
She's gonna try and grab his foot.
Okay.
And kind of just throw him to the ground.
Okay, so like after it's connected, you try to like grab it.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and I would say for that, because you're trying to basically grapple him. Go ahead. It'll be oh my gosh, I always mess up grapple. You're trying to grab him, which is a strength, and he's trying to avoid it, which is a dex or a strength. So for that, go ahead and roll a strength check, which you do have disadvantage on checks. So go ahead and roll a strength check, and then he's gonna go ahead and roll. It's athletics, or is it athletics or acrobatics, right?
It's athletics versus the athletics or acrobatics, whichever is higher, and indeed disadvantage for the.
Okay.
Is the check just a straight D20, or do I count my +3 for it?
You plus your strength modifier, because it's your
athletics, whichever.
Your athletics. Sorry.
Okay.
Which I know your athletics is higher than your strength, so.
Yes. Is that is it athletics or acrobatics?
No, acrobatics for the person dodging it because they're using their dex to try to get away.
Well, yeah, no. So then I don't have anything. I don't have a +3 to my athletics. I have a +3 to my acrobatics.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, acrobatics is dex based, so acrobatics is what he's using to try to get away from you. You're trying to restrain him, so you have to use strength. So either strength or athletics.
Rip.
What'd you roll?
a 2.
Oh, well, he rolled a 3 plus 7, so he rolled a 10. So yeah, so you go to grab his foot, and he sees it and kind of just kind of sweeps it a little bit further away from you. And then on his turn, he's then going to go ahead and try to spit, like keep the momentum going and try to hit you with his other leg. Wait, make sure I'm punching the right number here. Is it? Yeah. Okay.
The
Good.
satyr, remember it. They have feet.
So 8, I believe an 18 hits.
Yes.
Yeah. So he keeps the momentum going, and so he like hits you once. You try to grab him, and then mid swing and brings his foot around again, striking you in the face a second time with this sort of like big windmill like sweep with his foot, doing another 3 points of bludgeoning damage. And it's your go again.
Okay. So she's gonna try and she's gonna try and like knee him, bring him.
Okay.
So what like so I'm just trying to visualize this. What's his stance currently?
So after he strikes you, he has kind of he's kind of spread out a bit. He's kind of has his so he hits you with his right foot originally, then he hits you with his left foot finishing the swing. So now his right foot is kind of back behind him and his left foot is kind of outstretched in front of him, kind of bracing him in kind of a triangular position, and his body's kind of turned a little bit because he had to his momentum had to stop at some point. So it had to kind of carry him through. So he's not in the strongest footing right now. Oh jeez.
Okay.
But if you're wanting to like knee him, like you just said, essentially the position that he's in from where you're at, he basically has his left side, like his back and his left like torso exposed to you, essentially.
Yeah. So she's not gonna try and knee him. She's gonna bring her leg up and try and just straight up just kick him.
Just like a roundhouse kick right to the chest, essentially.
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically.
Go ahead and make that roll.
Where did my dice? I have to get an actual mat for my dice and keep rolling it off my freaking desk. I need to get one so bad. That's my next purchase. Oh, there it is. Okay. 16?
16 hits. Go ahead and so you hit him for 2 more points of damage. So you basically bring your foot up, and because of his off position, he's not expecting, and he looks over, and all of a sudden, boom, your foot right to his left side of his torso, and you feel the oomph right through him, doing 2 points of damage. Oops, that's not right. There we go. Okay. But then he's gonna go ahead and he kind of recoils, and then he's gonna try to basically pivot and bring his right knee kind of up to you to try to hit you kind of in the torso, kind of spinning to do so, with a. Ooh, that's not gonna. So yes, so he basically and he tries to like reach over and grab you and bring his knee to you, and you basically just like sidestep him, and his knee kind of just flails widely, and then it's gonna be your go.
Okay, let's see. So she's just gonna try and she's just gonna take her arm in with as much force as she's got. Just bring it up and try and connect it to the side of his head.
Go for it. I'm having to stand up now so I can like visualize this with my body so I can explain it correctly.
16.
16 hits. All right. So yes, you do another 2 points of damage. What were you, so basically with his what was it? You're just trying to punch him in the face?
Yeah. So can you describe his stance again? Because
So
now I'm
basically-
standing up trying to visualize this.
Yeah. So basically, he has now pivoted. He's facing you kind of directly as he tried to bring his knee up to you, and he missed. So he's now facing you directly. So if you punch him in the face, you can basically hit him like square in the nose again. Or if you wanted to swing wide, you can hit him in the cheek. Or basically, he's facing right at you now.
No, I'm not sure if you're gonna make me re-roll for this, but she's gonna come up and she's gonna uppercut him.
Oh, you want to uppercut? Okay. So because he whiffed it, so now it's your turn. So go ahead and roll for it. Yeah. Because I just rolled.
Roll again.
Well, because I failed because I had a 3 and that was him failing. So now it's your turn. Unless wait. Oh,
Yeah, and I got a 16.
I forgot. I'm sorry. I can't see your roll, so it's throwing me off. So yeah, 16. So you uppercut him to the jaw, and everybody hears this crack as you hit him in the jaw, and ooh goes out through the entire crowd, and he recoils a bit, and you see that his jaw looks like it. He actually like grabs it, and you hear like as he like pushes it back into place, and goes, "Shit, that hurt." And he goes in, and he's basically gonna try to just straight like jab to your torso. Yeah, and with an 18, he's definitely gonna hit it. And so basically, you hit him, and you're kind of like, haha, and then all of a sudden, boom, right in the center torso, just right in your sternum, full on bash, doing 2 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay. So Dax is going to kind of like take a step back after the hit, and so now she's going to go ahead and she's going to try and. Is he kind of like in the same position he was earlier?
He's still facing. He's back kind of to his readied stance where he's kind of got 1 foot in front of him, 1 foot behind him. He's got his body kind of half cocked towards you, both fists up in front of his like boxing position, basically.
Yeah. She's gonna try and kick his leg.
Okay.
But not so. I'm trying to think of the best. She's gonna try and kick his knee.
Ooh, okay.
Knee, and she's gonna try and kick it at an angle where she's kicking it in to try and break it.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me your attack.
So my D20.
Yes. Let's see if you can hit his knee.
Nat 20.
Oh, the dice. Okay, that's it. That's all I needed. So you hit him, and basically he's prepped, and you go for what is his left knee, and you just basically boom, and you hit his kneecap, and it buckles backwards. Which actually, wait, he's a satyr, so his knees are already backwards. So you hit it, and because his knees are backwards, basically. Actually, hold on. I need to see a satyr. I need to refresh my memory.
Yeah, no, I was trying to visualize it too. I was like, how does this work?
So satyr would all have the knee, and then the ankle joint would be the back.
I see it. Okay. So you do
hit
his knee.
You
do hit his knee, but because of the angle of how it is, it actually doesn't like buckle the way you're expecting. It actually, you feel it impact backwards into his like what goes down to like his ankle joint, and everyone hears this loud crunch, and he buckles to the ground, like immediately goes to the ground and grabs his leg, screaming in pain.
Dax has a smile of pride on her face, and she's just gonna be like, "You give up?"
And he lays there, and and he looks up at you. And do you basically like? You essentially are asking him to submit, basically?
Yeah.
And he looks up at you, looks around at the crowd, and the crowd's like looking at him like, "Come on, let's go, come on!" And he starts to try to get up, and he balances on one leg, and you can see him try to put a little weight on his left leg, and he is kind of like teetering a bit, and he goes, Nah, I got this. And he tries to go in, and so he tries to swing at you with his fist, but because he is heavily injured, he's going to be rolling at disadvantage. Oh my gosh, Steam, stop covering up my digital dice tray with who's playing games.
The Steam just wants you to know who's playing what.
Yeah. Does a 13 hit?
No.
Okay, so he goes to swing, and as he misses, he loses his footing and he tries to put his weight on his very injured left leg. He puts weight on it, and he screams out in pain, and then buckles back over on the ground and grabs his leg, and you see a little bit of like tears starting to pull up in his eyes as he's just holding his leg in pain. I yield. I yield. That was good. And the rest of the crowd goes, "Yeah, woo!" and starts like cheering you on. As you clearly won the fight.
Dax is smiling. She's doing nothing but smiling.
Yeah, and it doesn't take long for a couple of onlookers to come over and help this guy up, and they lift him up and kind of hold him between two of them, and he kind of holds his leg with one hand and reaches out his right hand towards you, says, "That was a hell of a fight," and goes to shake your hand.
Dax shakes his hand back and basically out of just good spirits says, you put up a good fight.
You put up one as well. My name's Diff. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Dax.
Nice to meet you, Dax. I'm gonna go have people who are good and all that magic stuff take care. Look at my leg. You feel free to hang around. I'll be back later. Ow! Get me out of here. And the the two on either side of him are two humans that are kind of like trying to snicker and whatnot, and they bring him. He kind of disappears into the crowd as they bring him away from the group to go try to help take care of him. And yeah, a couple people come up and kind of clap you on the back, and a few of them kind of come up and applaud you, and you hear some comments like, "That was amazing," and "Oh my gosh, that was such a good fight," and "I can't believe she hit his knee like that," and everybody's there's no like no one's mad at you. Everyone's kind of impressed with you for the most part. And yeah, and it's as this is happening, this is about the same time that Tippy, you finally have arrived at the edge of the arena. Zoop. Boop. And you've just made your way to the outskirts of the building that Cassivus had told you about when you start to hear cheering and yelling coming from, like, echoing through the halls and the doorways of this large arena, coming from the inside of it.
Gonna find my way to go inside.
Yeah, doesn't take you long. You find one of the doorways and kind of zip through it a bit, and as you get closer, the sounds get louder, but they're kind of bouncing and echoing through the halls. And as you find your way to the exit, you're seeing down at the very base of this this large arena in the grass in the center, you see a small crowd of individuals around a roped off ring, and you see a tiefling with dark red skin and fiery hair getting congratulated by a large group of fighters.
Tippy's gonna try to weasel her way through.
Okay, so you make your way down into the center of the arena?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And I'll say you're not very large, but you are around 3 foot when standing on your hindquarters. So I would say go ahead and... Are you trying to sneak down there, or are you just trying to get down there?
Just get down there.
Okay. As you make your way down to the bottom of the stairs and to the center arena area, right where the grass, before the running track starts, you hear an individual yell and say, "Oi, what are you doing?" And you see as this short little halfling scurries over from the crowd and kind of gets right in front of you and it crosses its arms right in front of you. And it's a halfling, so it's not very tall. And it's standing right in front of you. Like, where do you think you're going?
I'm trying to figure out what the commotion's about.
And you obviously, I assume this is telepathic.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And, oh, and he goes, what? Who did that? Was that you?
No, it's the other squirrel across the street.
His eyes dart around a bit. And do you stand upright at all or anything?
Yeah, she's like on her back.
If
paws.
I'm not mistaken, hold on. Okay, so you stand up, and you're a little bit taller than this halfling when fully stood up. And he kind of looks up at you a little bit and goes, "I wasn't expecting that. All right. Well, the commotion is something that you're not a part of. Kind of turns around and looks back at you and looks back at the group. Can I help you?"
Yeah, I want to see what the commotion's about.
Roll me a persuasion check.
Ow.
That's a very good persuasion check.
Ooh.
Oh.
He looks at you and says, "I'm sorry, I ain't letting you in. I don't know who you are. There's a commotion going on, yeah, but it doesn't concern you. So you can take that fluffy little tail of yours and you can scurry on out of here before I kick your ass."
I'd like to see you try.
His little brow furrows, and the hand that he was kind of like pointing off and like, "You can get out of here" point, he kind of clenches into a fist and pulls back a bit. And Dax, I'll say at this point, you actually kind of through the crowd starts to break up a little bit, and they kind of also start to kind of cluster off in their own little groups that you'd seen them do before. And you now can see the squirrel you had encountered before, basically having a standoff with a halfling, and you watch as the halfling's hand is pulling back into a fist.
She's smirking because she still doesn't know who this individual is.
Okay.
And she could honestly care less what happens at the moment. So
Okay.
she's kind of smirking, kind of just wanting to see what happens.
Okay. Tippy, you watch as this halfling's fist starts to draw back, and it's almost like it's happening in slow motion as it's pulling into a fist. And then through the crowd, you see Dax standing basically at the center of this ring with a smirk on her face, looking right at you.
This is why you don't fuck with our lovely spellcasters.
Okay, what do you do? I'll say you see this coming, but like he's about to punch you essentially.
Torn between a mind sliver
Oh
or
my,
my sword burst.
Oh my gosh.
this is gonna escalate quickly.
Or I could
Yeah,
vicious
this is gonna
mockery.
escalate very quickly.
What happened to our de-escalation tactics?
I'm a squirrel.
I'm a squirrel.
Yeah, how did Dax go from being the bad one to the more reasonable
Yeah, I was
one?
gonna say, when did Dax become the sane one?
It
What
was-
happened?
It was Basil's influences.
Yeah, Basil left a parting gift of giving Dax her sanity.
I'm not sure about that one.
It's okay. Whatever sanity he gave, Rhea took away.
Yeah,
so
Rhea
it's
just
fine.
shoved that in the dirt with the boot of her heel.
The boot of her heel.
You know what I meant. You know what I meant.
I'm gonna use a mind sliver.
Okay, so it's okay. So DC Intelligence saving throw. Okay, so that's just gonna be. Oh my gosh, mouse! Too many computers. Okay, that's gonna be intelligence. Oh, okay, all right. Oh, I have Tippy selected again. I'm sorry. Thankfully, it doesn't pull from Tippy's sheet. It's just a D20 roll. But, okay. So it's on a fail, take 1d6 psychic damage. Okay. Oh my gosh, and subtract a d4 from the next saving throw it makes before the end of your next. Oh, good night.
Assuming Tipper is 5th level, that's actually like 2d6 damage.
Oh, that's wait, 5th level spell or level 5?
No, when you reach certain levels,
Oh,
because
that's
there are
right.
no 17th level spells.
That's
Yeah.
that's right.
It is a 2d6.
Yeah. So, dang. So. So how basically do you just like look at him and just this happens, or do you do something?
Tippy will say, "Don't mess with a spellcaster," like in a very serious tone,
Yeah.
and just it's odd because her book doesn't show up this time,
Okay.
even though it's still there.
Yes.
But the runes start appearing on her fur
Ooh. Okay.
as he gets the damage taken.
Okay. So as you say, the don't mess with it, and the runes appear on you, and all of a sudden, his mind just feels like it's being invaded by ice spikes from every direction, and all of a sudden, his fist dissipates, and he grabs the side of his head and yells out in pain as he drops down to his knees, screaming as this pain enters his mind. Dax, you watch this happen in real time right in front of you. You don't hear any words spoken. You just see the fist go back, and all of a sudden, glowing red runes appear all over this 3-foot-tall squirrel, and this little halfling dressed kind of similar to how Diff was, with like kind of like hand-to-hand combat gear, just suddenly grabs his head, screaming in pain, falling to his knees. And all the fighters then turn and are looking at Tippy and this very much in pain halfling.
Dax, seeing this, immediately is like, yeah, this isn't happening. Because she just made friends, or sort of just made friends with these people. So she immediately starts going over to approach Tippy.
And even
It's in a very, I wouldn't say aggressive or necessarily super, but it's in a kind of like in a what the hell are you doing type stance.
Older
Or
sibling
type walk.
older sibling approaching younger sibling, saying, "You're embarrassing me. What the heck are you doing?"
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, even though it's only 4 points of damage, I mean, we're talking about a simple little halfling here. He is in a lot of pain, and just kind of his scream subsides after a minute, and he's still holding his head. And he's just,
Dax. Yeah, so once she gets over to Tippy, she crouches down, in a whispery, pissed off voice. She goes, "What the hell was that for?"
He was gonna look up, be like, he was gonna hit me, so I stopped him.
That's the best answer.
What are you? And so she's like, "What are you even doing here?"
I was told there was a commotion down here with some of the people I ran into, so I came to see what was going on. And then I heard the cheering, and this person thing. She's gonna turn to the person that she just minds over. What are you again?
And he hears, oh my halfling.
Okay, this halfling is very rude.
Are you because of how your telepathy works? You'll have to remind me. Is it single line of communication, or is anybody that's like within a range of you, or?
I think as long as I connected, it didn't really clarify.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I'm fine with it being like whoever you're connected to, like as long as you're willing, they can hear you. Otherwise, it can be like.
Because I don't think it really.
I'm trying to remember and like find your information. Oh, here it is. You can speak telepathically to any creature you can see, provided the creature is within a number of feet equal to 10 times your level, which is 50 feet. You don't need to share a language with the creature for it to understand your telepathic utterances, but the creature must be able to understand it. So I'd say it's a kind of a loose thing. So yeah, if like because you've already connected to it, it's within range. If you want him to hear you, then he can be privy to this conversation between you and Dax.
No, that's up to you, Fox.
Yeah.
Tibby don't care if he hears.
Okay. I'm sorry. I was just doing my job.
Dax then goes over to the halfling, and this is the one a few times you'll see her try and be helpful, and asks him if he needs anything.
At this point, the pain would be subsiding from the mind sliver, but he still has like a splitting headache, and so he stands up and he's holding his head. He's like, no, I'm all right. And he looks up at the squirrel. Does Tippy do anything as he stands up and looks at her?
No, just her. You'll just see her tail swishing back and forth.
And he looks at the squirrel and just look kind of just flabbergasted. Says, I wasn't expecting that. And as he says that, Dax, you see a shadow that starts to appear over the top of the halfling and Tip. And as you glance over, Diff is now standing over the top of the halfling, and you crouched at trying to help him, and he's now kind of standing there with his arms on his hips, going, "So, what's going on here?"
Dax looks at Diff, and is like, a uninvited friend, I guess you could say, that has overreacted by far more than she should have, or than it should have. She doesn't know if the squirrel's a he or she.
Diff looks down at the halfling, at the squirrel, and then at Dax and says, "Well, he doesn't look dead. You dead?" "Oh, I just got a splitting headache." "All right, well." He looks up at the squirrel. "I mean, to be honest, that's how we all get in here, is we best the guard. You bested the guard. Well done." And then he's talking to Tippy.
Wait, the best that guy?
Yeah, you
That's
beat
all
him.
I had to do?
I mean,
Well,
you put him on the ground, and he looks over at Dax and says, "You did that to me 5 minutes ago, and damn near shattered my leg." And he holds up his now healed leg.
She nods in agreement. She's like, yes, I did. However, I used fair. This individual over here used spells.
Oh, did she? Him, thing. All right. Well, he kind of leans down to get kind of at the squirrel's level and says, I'm going to be honest, we don't use that sort of stuff around here unless it's for healing folk. And then we don't use weapons neither. But he looks over and says, seeing that he ain't dead, I'll let you off with a warning this time. Does that sound fair?
TV's gonna look at it, look down at herself, and then look up, be like, and then point to herself. Do I look like I can fight with my fist?
Well, first off, I'm impressed that you're able to get inside my head. That's very weird, but also very cool. Second, that is a fair point. My name's Diff, and he holds out his hand.
TV's gonna look at the hand for a second, like, do I want to do? Okay. She just puts her little paw in his and be like, Tippery, at your service.
He kind of grabs all the way around and says, nice to meet you, Tippery. And he leans back out and says, and Miss Dax, that was a good fight. I hadn't had a fight that good in a while. Well, I mean, go ahead.
I'm always down for, and as he says that, she kind of cracks her knuckles and kind of cracks her head by tilting it, or her neck
Yeah.
by tilting it side to side. Well, I'm always down for another one.
He smirks, says, maybe some other time. That magic may have fixed the bones, but it's still tender.
Fair enough.
But yeah.
So she turns around and yells at the group. All right, so who's next?
Point of inspiration. That's good. As this is happening, we're gonna jump up. Grigor, you had finished some shopping at the Central Market last session and gotten some things. Was there anything else that Grigor needed to do while he was in the market, or did he want to wrap up his day of shopping and head elsewhere?
Grigor would be heading to like a weapons or an armor shop.
Okay, there's definitely some in the market. There's also the Duruun's Forge. I always do that. Duruun's Forge that's up north near in the Riverside district that you have shopped at before.
We'll stick to the market area for now.
Okay. There's a couple of vendors that have some basic weaponry. Most of it looks used. Most of it looks kind of worn, and there's a few that have, like, obviously everything's sharp, but it's very clear that none of the stuff here is brand new. It looks like a lot of the stuff here is probably secondhand or possibly even stolen, and is being resold. The market isn't known for selling weaponry, but there are some here who have some items. What are you looking for specifically?
Maces and the sort.
Oh, maces. Okay, you definitely would be able to find some maces. Again, nothing that's like brand new. It's all kind of on the older end of the spectrum. But yeah, I mean, you could definitely find some. Pull up my documents.
And Grigor's also looking for like a studded leather.
Studded leather. Okay. Yeah, there would be some clothing vendors who would have those sort of things. There might be there would definitely be an armorer that would have like some like very lightweight armor of like some very simple like chest plates and pauldrons and leather armor of sorts. But yeah, you could absolutely get that. Are you wanting to purchase some of those things?
Yeah.
Okay, give me a second. I'm trying to find my there it is. Okay. You said studded leather armor?
Yep.
Okay. This isn't going to be like the most amazing armor, but so it's a little worn, but it will definitely work. And they're asking 33 gold for a studded leather armor set, which is basically like almost like a vest that you cinch up in the middle, and then it has like little shoulder pauldron pieces, kind of a part of it, and then it also comes with some like simple thigh panels that can be wrapped wrapped over around your legs before you put your pants on or outside your pants. But it would be 33 gold for that set. And then the mace that you're looking at would be 3 gold for that one.
Grigor would buy both.
Okay. All right. So if you want to go to the D&D Beyond thing in here, in the items section, you should be able to search studded leather armor and mace, and they should be in there. And oh wait, that's not what I want. They're all of armor of vulnerability. What the heck? Hang on a second. Hang on a minute. That's not right. There it is. Okay. I'll get it for you. It's in a different catalog because things be weird. Okay. So studded
There's a
leather
regular
armor.
one under DDB armor. DDB items.
Yeah, I found it in the SRD items. I found studded leather armor. And then I also found a mace. Okay. In your inventory, you now have a mace and studded leather armor. Now, if you want to go ahead and equip them, you can. You can only have one armor equipped at a time. So if you're going to want to put on the studded leather armor, you're going to have to take the regular leather armor off. So I'll let you fiddle with that. But yeah, you're able to get those items. Anything else you want to do in the market?
Google would ask the mace vendor someplace he could go get a feel for the mace without being a public nuisance.
Gotcha. Yeah, and you ask this and he goes, yeah, if you go down to the end of the market, the east end of the market, they have a little area set up for like it's a shooting range for bows and whatnot. There's a few training dummies down there you can probably give a whack at.
Grigor thanks him and heads toward that area.
Okay. You walk over to the east side and you see like a little training area that's kind of has cordoned off with hay bales, and there's a few hay targets set up, and you see a few people practicing with some bows. They're not doing very well. You see a couple simple look like scarecrows more than anything that have like a simple tunic over the top of it, and there's lashed to a big stick with some rope. And they just kind of this floppy looking like scarecrow sort of thing, and people there. You see one that's just getting beaten by these kids with these sticks that think they're little soldiers, and they're just kind of like, you just hear them laughing as they just beat the heck out of this thing with these sticks. But you do see a couple that are unattended that are kind of off to the side.
Grigor prepares his mace and starts getting a feel for the weight of it as he practices on the dummy.
Yeah, roll me. Hang on a second. I want to see something real quick. Because a mace is. It is it a finesse weapon, or is it a strength weapon? Tyra, can you remind me?
Mace is strength.
It's strength.
I'll just
Okay,
get it.
okay.
Yep.
That's right.
Strength that does 1d6 bludgeoning.
Okay, so as you pick up the mace to go swing it, go ahead and just roll me a d20 for me real quick, please. Okay, so it's a bit awkward and clunky for you. You're used to a rapier, something that's a lot more finesse, something that's a lot more surgical, for lack of a better term, something that's very precise and almost artistic in its use. Whereas the mace feels very clunky and feels very like brutish. And it takes you a couple of swings before you kind of get the weight of it figured out. And I mean, obviously you can hit the scarecrow, but it takes you about a half a dozen practice attempts at manipulating the mace before you're able to get the hang of like, okay, it's very heavy on the end. I need to get the swing right so that I bring the full force down, and you kind of get some maneuvers in and you kind of figure it out. And it takes you a little bit, but you're able to figure it out. And on your sixth attempt, you make contact with the scarecrow and basically knock a bunch of the stuffing out of it. It goes as you hit it, and you behind you hear, "That's pretty impressive. What are you doing there?" And you turn around and Spitwick is standing in front of you.
Grigor flinches a bit at the sudden conversation and turns around and sees Spitwick.
Yeah, he's standing there with his arms crossed, looking at you.
I bought a mace and getting a feel for it.
Oh, okay. I've never been a mace guy myself. I'm usually a spear person. And he takes the spear off his back, and as he takes it off, he just jabs it into the scarecrow. And you can tell he's trying to be impressive as he just jabs it, but from your perspective, it's a gnome poking something with a stick. So it's like, okay, cool, you poked something. And he pulls it back out and sticks the spear down as almost like a staff and goes, anyways, are you busy?
Not particularly.
Okay. I think it's beneficial if we get back to the Lanky Tankard. The boss told me that you probably should head up there for a meeting later tonight.
Grigor nods a bit.
If you want, I can go with you. Otherwise, I don't really care. It's up to you. But yeah, might not be a bad idea.
Yeah, I'll head back with you.
Okay, sounds good.
And he starts kind of walking through the market to get to the far side to head back to in the basically that northern direction towards Riverside.
I would like to ask a general question.
I would like to give you a general answer.
Telena's sending thing, did that eventually get to its target?
Oh, that's right. I thank you so much. That was headed to Dax, correct?
Yes.
Yes, that's right. Okay. I'd say, let me think, because that conversation went on for a while. I'd say the timing line probably would have had that happen near the end of the fight, so we can back up a little bit. Thank you for reminding me.
Yeah.
Near the end of that fight, right before you saw Tip, I'd say, Dax, you hear a message come into you from Talina. And what was the message from Talina, Tyrope?
Met the lady in red. Group meet tonight at the Lucky Tankard. Bring your friendly phrase. If you see Grigor or Tippy, bring them too.
Cool.
Would Dax know immediately who she's referring to upon Lady in Red? I can't remember if she was wearing that
Yes,
outfit.
she was when you saw her.
But
Cool.
Oh, wait, go ahead.
I was gonna say, but was that lady in red correlated to be the one that you met?
Go ahead. Because I'm
No,
thinking
go ahead.
out loud. I'm thinking out loud.
No, you go
'cause
ahead. You go ahead first.
I know that. I don't think Dax
Talina
saw.
never told the group.
Huh?
Talina never told the group.
No, I don't. Talina didn't tell the group, and if I recall correctly, because this was like 3 sessions ago, only I think Talina saw was clocked Lady in Red acting suspiciously, essentially. To the knowledge of Dax, the Lady in Red is. It could be anybody, but
no, I mean Dax would know that there's something suspicious about her because of what she saw.
yeah.
But okay, we'll go with she doesn't know
Yeah.
who she's talking about.
Yeah. I'll say that. Yeah, I think
At least right off the bat.
Sure, absolutely.
So she's gonna get the message, and I can't remember. Is she able to send one back?
Yes, you can respond to the
you
message.
are. Max 25 words.
Yep.
She's gonna respond back basically. Okay, just found Tippy.
Yeah, this would be like you would have heard this and then seen Tippy hit the guy with a mind sliver like in quick succession. Like, oh, yep, found this girl. All right, cool. Yeah, you're well within your word count. You have another 21 words if you want to send anything.
Nope.
do donuts. Like
No, that's all she's gonna say.
Okay.
See you there.
And then,
you know, anything along the line?
Yeah.
Nope. Dax is too focused on having. Well, at the moment, she was too focused on having fun.
Yeah.
Then she went immediately back to what the hell is Tippy doing, and now she's back to too focused on having fun.
Yep.
Dax is with her people.
I love that. Just saw Tippy. It just magicked as a verb, a halfling. I love that. Yeah. Okay, cool. So yeah, so you that message does get relayed. And so Grigor and Spitwick are making their way north. The message has been relayed to Dax and Tippy and by obviously extension Scorch. And then Talina and Rhea obviously have set the meeting. I'd say with that, we're going to go ahead and just check in real quick with Dax and Tippy because they were kind of left off in something. With that message having been relayed and what just happened with Diff, and this kind of and Diff and the rest are clearly not mad. It's a fight club, and this guy tried to strike. He lost. A warning was graciously given, understanding this is not a melee. This is a melee fight. This isn't a magic fight. But as far as they're concerned, no harm, no foul.
And Dax immediately went back to. having fun.
Okay. Do you
She
just
went-
want? Go ahead.
I mean, she just, and she's gonna, before she officially goes back to the group of people, she's gonna let Tippy know about the message, and she's gonna be like, "Do you mind starting to make your way back there? I'll meet you there in a little bit."
Yeah, I got you. I'll go.
She nods a thank you, and then she goes back to who she is now going to call or reference as her people, and immediately tries to find the next person to start fighting.
So as you turn and start to leave Tippy and by extension Diff kind of standing there and start to make a couple of steps back towards the center ring, and all of a sudden from the corner of your eye running into the arena from one of the walls, like down the steps, you see a mid-sized human, like kind of like 5'8" running down the steps, and runs into the group and starts yelling something that you can't quite make out from this distance, and everyone starts scattering. Everyone starts running for basically to leave the center area.
Dax takes that as a sign to grab her stuff, because her jacket's still over by Scorch, to grab her jacket, throws it on, calls Scorch, and then immediately bolts with him.
Yeah, and as by the time this is all happening, you start to see, in the very distance, you see a small patrol of city guards enter the arena from one of the upper level entrances on the far side, kind of where you came from, which is like the west side of the arena. And they start spreading out and running down towards the center part. And very clearly are yelling things like the equivalent of "you're under arrest," essentially.
So Dax now knows this is an illegal fight club, and we don't talk about Fight Club.
And when you turn around, Diff is gone. He's already, and the halfling, they're gone. They're completely bolted.
She kind of expected that, because she would have done the same. So she's just continuing to bolt with Scorch into the city, knowing that she has to head north, but she doesn't know the city well enough to know the direct path back to the Lucky Tankard.
As you exit the arena, Tippy, you would have been right on the edge of this, like not in a rush, and then all of a sudden Dax is like running out from the arena behind you, and so the two of you and Scorch now are basically in the cobblestone streets just outside the arena. And I mean, it's very clear from this direction which way north would be. If I'd say for Dax, go ahead and roll me a survival check to see if she can deduce north, because she did exit the arena from a different way she entered.
You said survival?
Yes, please.
$22.
Okay. You exit, and your adrenaline is just pumping, and you just had a great time. You can go, oh, that's north, and you know exactly which way north is. Do you guys travel north as a group, or do you guys kind of leave each other?
I mean, Dax is gonna. Did she notice Tippy when she exited?
I mean, is Tippy trying to hide? Did Tippy go invisible?
Nope, Tippy's not hiding.
Then yeah, I mean, you'd notice, because I mean, basically you would have exited kind of around the same-ish time, because she was walking and you'd be running.
Okay, so I mean, Dax is just gonna exit and be like, and look down at Tippy and go, well, I guess I'm heading that direction now. Feel free to walk with me if you want. And she's just gonna start walking, making sure that Scorch is following.
Scorch is following.
Tippy's gonna fall in beside her.
Okay, cool. So the three of you start making your way north, and you basically have to cross the entire city. And at about this point, all of you guys would be getting back to, well, I say the three of you plus Grigor and Spitwick would be making it to the Tankard within about 35, probably like an hour of each other, hour and a half of each other. And I would say for you guys to make it back there, it'll be kind of late afternoon, early evening. So like 4 or 5-ish at this point of you guys kind of congregating together at the Lucky Tankard. At least you guys.
If I may.
Yep, go for
it. Rhea would have stopped at her residence to grab some of her equipment. You know, she might have had the dagger with her when she went to the Wizard and Wand. Gasp! Shocker.
I know. I'm so surprised.
She's also going to grab her other equipment and other weaponry,
Okay.
which will be described once people show up.
Mm-hmm.
And then, after since the Wizard and Wand trip was going to be like morning to wait, no, that was noon.
Yeah, we met at noon.
Yeah, you met at noon, and
So it was what time we were meeting at the Lucky Tankard?
I just said tonight.
Yeah, tonight. Yeah, I
Tonight?
thought you said
Okay.
sundown, but I may have misheard that.
I mean, yeah, I think I said sundown to Rhea and just
Yeah.
tonight to Dax.
Got it. For sundown. So Rhea would have probably gone to her residence, but also to a market stall just to get, general food items to
Sure.
take to her residency because she does in fact live here in Duruun.
Go ahead and remove 5 silver from your inventory for the food items you would have picked up. Just kind of.
Damn,
innocuous food
she
items.
bougie. Okay.
5 silver is not bougie. That's like your grocery run right there.
I was gonna say copper, but okay.
Well, that's like if you're buying like 2 apples. Like, okay, a couple of copper, but like,
fair.
yeah. If you're buying like your groceries, which is what I understood that to be, unless I'm mistaken,
Yes.
then yeah, 5 silver.
And then shortly as the sun's starting to peek onto the horizon, she'll be making her way from her residency here at the end of Riverside up to the Lucky Tankard.
Okay. And by the time you arrive at the Lucky Tankard, so I would say that Scorch, Tippy, Grigor, and Spitwick have all made it back. I'm just going to put you guys out here in the river so that I can keep track of you all. Here we go. Move you over there as well. And then would Talina have made her way over there early or right on time?
So before my shift at the Wizard and Wand, I would have taken a quick stroll around like the immediate area, maybe a circle around Hazel Hill, just to find a jeweler specifically.
Okay, yeah, there'd definitely be a jeweler in Hazel Hill. That's very like this, or Amber Point. Honestly, this whole area would have very affluent, sort of like very nice jewelers.
Nice, because I'm just looking to shift these jewels that I have into coin and dump that coin in the iron ledger hold. Not sure how much you want to RP that out.
Yeah, I would say that in Hazel Hill you'd find a simple jeweler and a small gnome with a very long spindly beard off the chin is working there, and instead of one little like jeweler's loop, there's 2, one in each eye, and so it looks like glasses that are like protruding off of its face. And it's excuse me, I have a cough. And as you enter the jeweler's shop there, you come in and you see him kind of hunched over a countertop, and he's got these 2 little like brass mounts that are holding 2 different colored gemstones and that are uncut. So they have kind of an awkward natural shape to them, and he's looking at both, like one through each eye, and he's like intricately like brushing each of them with these itty bitty little brushes as you walk in.
Are the 2 eyepieces different magnification?
Yes, the one in the right eye is longer, and it makes his eye look like you can actually kind of see his eye almost in it, and the other one's smaller and you can't really see his eye in it.
Lovely. I walk up to him and just take a little bundle of cloth and put it down on the counter, like far enough away from where he's working that it doesn't get confused, but close enough that he can notice I'm there even if he's focused on his work.
Okay, and which gems are you setting in front of him?
Just I have them all 6 of them. I have them bundled into like a little bit of cloth.
Okay, so you set the cloth down.
Yeah.
So he's sitting there and he's wearing like a very nice like dark emerald green suit with like a little puffed ascot coming out around the neck, but he has his like his like jacket and sleeves are all kind of scrunched up towards the elbows a bit, and his kind of longish arms, even though he's a gnome, are kind of spread over this, and you set the jewels down and he can hear him clinking. He goes, "Oh, what is this? Hello." And he looks up and he adjusts the jeweler's loops, and he's like, "Oh, you're cute. Oh, wait." And he pulls the 2 jeweler's loops off his face and goes, "Oh, never mind. You're normal size. What can I do for you?"
That's not the first time I've heard that. As she grins cheekily. I have acquired these And I was just wondering how useful they would be to you if one were to say put a coin value against it.
Oh,
And I
all
gently
right.
unfold the cloth to show the 6 gems sitting there.
Ooh, those are pretty. And he sticks the jewelers back in. You hear the as they kind of pop back into where like the grooves on his face because he's done this so many times. Says, "Let me take a look." And he pulls them and he starts kind of going through them. And which ones do you have again?
I have 2 emeralds worth 1 thou and 2 diamonds, 2 rubies, each worth 5 thou.
Okay, roll me. All right, so how many gems is that total?
That would be a total value of 22,000.
No.
Cool.
Total number of gems. So you had how many?
6.
6 gems. Okay, roll me 60 20s.
Easy close all my inventory tabs that I have open.
Okay, so you had
10, 11, 2 14s, a 15, and an 18.
Okay, so he goes, well, these two here, and he pulls 2 of the gems out. So you had you had emeralds. Go through those again.
That inventory. It's 2 diamonds, 2 emeralds, 2 rubies.
Okay, so one of the rubies and one of the emeralds he pulls out and says, these are good, and I can give you medium, like middle of the road dollars for these. But the other ones are pristine quality, and I'd be honored to give you full price for those. So basically, one of the emeralds and one of the rubies, you'll get not top dollar. So because those are worth. Where's my sheet? Hold on, I have a sheet somewhere.
The emeralds are worth 1 thou.
Okay, so one of the emeralds he give you 800 for, and the one of the rubies, which I believe is 500. Sorry, I have to find my sheet. 5. He'd give you 300 for that one. But the rest of them would be top dollar. So I'll let you do the math on all of that since you've got the list in front of you. Because if it was, you said it's in your inventory actually, so I should be able to check this.
Yeah, it's in the sack.
Sack. Oh my gosh! Open it up. Oh my gosh! Why can't I? Oh, contents. That's why I had details up. Okay, so you had 2, 2, and 2, and okay, so that would be calculator.
Well, before you do math,
okay,
I want to see if I can use prioritization station just to make it sparkle just a little bit.
Oh, to try to convince him on the other 2?
And then I go, well, I mean, they might be slightly dented, but they're still very sparkly. And like on the word sparkly, it just bling, like the classic cartoon. Yeah.
Okay, roll me. Okay, I'll leave it to you. Either you're trying to persuade him, or you're trying to deceive him. I will leave it up to you because technically both are accurate.
I'm not lying. They're sparkly.
They are sparkly. Oh
just not naturally sparkly.
My goodness. Yeah. So you say that and goes, oh, I must have not got them in the right light. He puts the loops back in, says, no, these are in fact quite impressive. All right, very well. Top dollar it is. So he'll give you top dollar for all of them. Well played. Well played.
Thank you. So I'll just take all of those out and add the gold.
So, yeah, whatever the gold values are for those, go ahead. You can feel free to add them all to your Man, you're good. You're stupid rich right now. And then
well, to be fair, I am sharing that to the party whenever the party gets around.
That's true. Yeah. And then did you say you're putting that in the ledger hold, or are you keeping all of that?
Yeah, I'm gonna put that coin away before I have my evening shift. And
sure. In that case, let me open your vault real quick. And you were doing. So how much gold are you putting in there total?
That would be. Do I have any gold on me that I'll put in? Probably not.
That's fine. I mean, you can just give me. We can whatever the number is. Yeah.
22,000 gold.
22,000 total. Okay. Okay, so there's 28,000 gold in your vault now, and then the remainder of that you can put on your person. I don't know why I didn't think of it.
Oh, there's no remainder. That's all of it.
That's it. That was all of it. Okay, cool. All right. Yeah. So you go back over, and Scrindle takes you back down to your vault, lets you in. You put your gold away, and he leads you back out. And as per usual, he adjusts the frame as he passes it both times of himself. Okay.
You know what? On the way up, I'll make the like I'll use prestidigitation to like wipe off the dust as well as he adjusts it.
Okay, so he goes up to adjust it, and
like puff of wind.
And as you go to adjust it, a little wind goes through, and all the dust is going.
Burk.
And he turns to look at you and looks at the thing.
Thank you, Scrindle. Appreciate you. Thank you.
And a big kobold smile on his face.
Nice.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'll do my job, get paid the 11 that we agreed, and
Yep.
then head out to the tankard.
Okay, so everybody arrives at the actually what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a quick break real quick. This is a perfect spot to take a break. So we'll go ahead and everybody go take the restroom break, go get a snack, drink, whatever, and we'll come on back.
Refill your waters.
Refill your waters. All
No.
the hydration is the word. I almost said hydrogen. That's not the right word.
Hail
Yeah, refill-
hydrogen!
Yeah, no, refill your hydrogen.
Refill your hydrogen. Yeah.
Hydrogen in there.
Hail
Right.
hydrogen. Okay, that's we need an emote now that says hail hydrogen. We need that. All right, I'll be back.
It's a third of the way to water. It's 2/3 of the way to water, isn't it?
2/3 of the way to water.
Hydrogen is H2, so it's 2/3 of the way to water.
Exactly that.
Sorry, I'm shouting from across my apartment.
How dare?
Bawa! I do dare.
Yeah, hydrogen atom is 1, but a hydrogen molecule is always 2.
The most deadly
Just the way the
chemical
bonds
in the
work.
world, dihydrogen monoxide.
True. 100% of dead humans have consumed it at some point in their life.
Gosh, that's an old joke, but it still stands out.
As old as it is, I used it yesterday, and I got
Oh
an
my
entire
God.
Twitch chat confused.
It's always better when they don't really get the joke right away.
Yeah. Yeah, they were making chemistry jokes, and I was like, did you know that 100% of dead people have consumed the chemical dihydrogen monoxide, and you too will die after consuming it?
In about, 60 to
You know,
70 years.
I never
in a
said
life-
it was causation. I just said you will consume it, and then you will die.
Exactly. Chemistry jokes are fun.
Nah. That didn't land. That one didn't land. It's okay.
It's okay, it was kind of boron. That one was a stretch.
Thanks, I hate it.
When nerds are funny.
I hate that when I look up jeweler for the GIF recap, I get like a bunch of like big ass rings and gold chains.
Just look up the guys from Pawn Stars. Easy. Exactly, Monhold. Science words are big and scary, therefore they must be bad for you. I see a Jesse in the chat.
Yes, you do. What's up, Jesse? Miss your face. Oh, your voice. Haven't seen your face. Oh, that GIF doesn't GIF. Funny, I sleep deprived. I can relate. May you feel better soon, sir. Jet lag is a bitch.
You're actually talking to him, and I'm just typing in chat.
Well, it helps that I'm like doing other things at my computer at the moment, mostly pasting links into a notepad for gift recap reasons.
Okay.
So it's easier for me to talk than to type.
Before we'll continue, bio break. I'll be back.
Nice, quiet. I can barely hear. Why am I quiet? I shouldn't be quiet. Wait, was I quiet because I was mumbling, or am I still quiet now? Because my mic volume is at 100, always has been. I don't know, it might be you. Well, I mean, if it's low compared to other voices, then it's probably not you. Oh, wait, what? Oh, there we go.
All right. Dude, what is going on with my monitor? It keeps flickering. It's so weird. Alrighty then. I have returned. Ty's quiet.
Yeah, we've been trying to figure out if it's a Jesse problem or a me problem.
No. Hold on. let's
I'm
do
a
this.
bit lower compared to Melon, apparently.
Okay. Melon, are you here?
Just got back.
Okay, I'm going to turn Melon down. Okay. Test Melon for me real quick.
Hi, hi.
All right, turn down a little
No,
bit
I
more.
refuse.
Okay. Let's see. Who else is back?
I am.
Okay.
Yep.
I know Monhold's always kind of quiet. Monhold, go ahead and say something for me real quick.
Hello.
Oh, you're actually really loud. That's cool. Okay.
I back.
Shadow's back. Okay. Turn that down a little bit.
So we just down a fox squirrel.
A fox squirrel.
Fox, squirrel, owl.
That's really weird that... I guess we'll try this, actually. Let's see.
Hey, puppy. Puppy,
Okay.
puppy, 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 puppy.
Okay, so it's...
I request scritches be given to puppers.
I am giving him scritches.
Extra scritches.
He doesn't want extra scritches. He just looked at me and was like, leave me alone. I want to go to sleep.
Dang it. Okay.
Understandable. Have a nice nap.
Understandable. Have
Pretty,
not.
pretty much. Hey, my puppy boy. I'm gonna bother him anyways, because I love him.
Okay. I think I have adjusted everybody at least enough to where on OBS it sounds better, I think. Hopefully the balance on that's a little bit better, because I realized that some of you were basically hitting like not breaking even into the yellow range in OBS, and I'm up there.
No.
So, but then some of you were like peeking up into the red. So I was like, okay.
Hi, that's me.
Yeah, you were hitting red. Shadow was hitting red. Actually, Monhold was hitting red, which was weird.
Heyo.
So, okay. Hopefully that helps. Thank you, Jesse, for saying something, because I would never have known. Okay. With that, as we return... Oh, wait. Is Fox back?
Yes. Fox never left. I think.
Are we sure
Fox?
about that?
I was going to say Fox.
Fox has never left.
Okay, just checking. All right. As we return to the Lucky Tankard, you guys have all kind of regathered here, Spitwick included, as well as your new companion, Scorch. And Grigor would have gotten here with Spitwick kind of first, followed shortly by Rhea, kind of arriving and getting behind the bar. And then followed very quickly by Dax, Tippy, and Scorch. Talina, you would be the last one to show up, just due to having to run an errand, essentially. As you guys all kind of arrive back at the tankard, it's up to you guys where you guys kind of want to congregate, where you guys would like to go, within the room at least. Would you guys all kind of like congregate at a single table?
Question. Would Dax, notice said person and immediately recognize?
I'd say
I was actually going to make the comment of perhaps Rhea arrived afterwards,
Okay.
after everybody else got settled.
That's fine.
Because Dax is not gonna step foot in there.
That's fine. That's fine. Yeah, I mean, if you want to arrive later, that's completely up to you. That's fine.
Mhm.
Okay. So everyone else at this point. So let's say Rhea's not there yet. So where would you guys be sans Rhea?
Dax would get a table and have Scorch lay down on the ground next to her.
Okay. Would the rest of you guys all kind of be at the same table or kind of be scattered around?
As soon as Grigor got to the tankard, he would have gone up to his room to change into his studded leather.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, so you'd be up there for a little bit. It doesn't take you long to change into studded leather, so. And the rest of you?
I'll be there late, so I don't know what the other what the squirrel is doing.
Okay. What is
They would
Tippy
be late
doing?
to arrive.
Squirrel will be on the table.
On the table. Love it. Okay, on the table. And I assume with nuts, more than likely.
Yes.
Okay, yep, munching on some nuts. And Grigor, as you come back downstairs, you see that Dax, Tippy, and Scorch are kind of around a singular table on one side of the room nearest one of the large openings that leads outside. And it's that pleasant time of night now where the sun's not quite down yet, so you get those beautiful hues coming through the openings of this very unique tavern. Kind of orangish and pinks that are bouncing off of the water out off the river. You hear the lapping of water outside. Just right outside with the river. You have kind of the pleasant, cacophony of noise coming from the tankard's patrons, and there's a single musician playing a lute over on the stage because Talina is not working tonight. But it's kind of a chill environment for sure, kind of cozy. Okay, so with you guys being in that particular situation, I'd say that not long after that, it's going to be up to Tyrope and Melon who shows up next. It's either going to be Talina or Rhea. I don't know. Would Rhea linger or...
We could bump into each other on our way entering. That is the third option.
That's true. The timing-wise could absolutely work out that way.
That is completely up to Rhea what she's doing at the time I'm coming in. It would be after my performance. It would be like sundown, maybe like half an hour later, because I do have to walk out there.
Yeah, it would be a little bit longer. Yeah, because it's a bit of a walk from Wizard and Wand over to the tankard.
Knowing that she probably is ahead of Talina, she would be lingering outside near kind of the odd market stall here and there, just outside on the dock side.
Okay. All right. So as you're lingering out there,
Monthold has a good question too.
Oh yes. Spitwick would have let Grigor go upstairs to change, and then he would have kind of been over at the bar ordering himself some drinks. And by the time that you'd gotten back downstairs, he would have come back over kind of in your neck of the woods with several tankards of ale.
We're sitting over here or what?
Here's fine.
Okay.
And Dax, as you are sitting at your table, you look over and you see Spitwick approaching the table with both hands holding 2 tankards each. Like he has that sort of thing where he has the tankards positioned so that he can hold 2 in one hand.
Dax is going to smile at the fact, not necessarily at Spitwick, but at the fact that he's carrying drinks.
Okay. And he comes over and he kind of skitters up onto one of the chairs and sets the 4 tankards on the table. And he goes to grab. He starts to grab one to drink it. He gives you kind of a side like says,
Good to see you again.
She nods in acknowledgement, but doesn't say anything, but isn't rude to him either.
Okay.
This is kind of more neutral as she grabs one of the tankards and starts to drink it.
You see as he starts to like react to you grabbing one of the tankards and then stops himself as he realizes he has one as well, and he's like,
Enjoy.
and then starts to drink from one of his tankards. By the way, I have come up with thank you to David, who's a friend of mine and Ty's. I have a thing now for drinking stuff. So this goes for everybody. At the completion, a full completion of a full drink. So in the case of like an ale or a beer or some kind, it's a full tankard. Something like a hard liquor is the equivalent of like a shot or so or thereabouts. The completion of it, you have to make a DC 5 Constitution saving throw. You beat it, you don't start to get drunk. If you fail it, it starts to hit you a lot harder. Every subsequent drink you have within a tight time span, the DC goes up by 5. So DC 5, DC 10, DC 15, DC 20, and it's based on your Constitution saving throw. So drinking lots of alcohol in a short setting can start to make you drunk.
Excellent.
Yes.
I'm all here for it. Thank you,
change.
David.
Yeah, that is something I've been using in my in-person games. In fact, my in-person games, they may be starting a moonshining business. We're not really sure yet. It might be happening. I wish I was kidding. Yeah, it's a thing. But yes, so the tankards now. There's 3 tankards. Dax grabs one, so there's 2 more full tankards of ale on the table. Tippy, the tankards are like next to you on the table. There's 2 of them, and one is pretty full, and you smell one of them, and it has that appley smell that you smelled before. And it has that very pleasant kind of aromatic apple orchard mixed with something spicy sort of scent. I don't know if it intrigues Tippy at all, but
Dash is going to continue eating her nuts.
okay, fantastic. Eating the mixed nuts on the table. After a little bit of time, Talina would arrive. Talina, you would see them at the table. Rhea, if you were waiting outside, you would see Talina arrive and kind of is like, I assume, scanning probably the crowd. Tyrope trying to like pick out where her friends are.
Well, the first thing I do is we have a live performance, right?
Do you have a performance at the tankard? I don't think you do.
No, I don't. But there is somebody live performing.
There's just one a human sitting up on kind of the corner of the stage, not like trying to draw attention to himself, and he's just kind of quietly playing the lute, just kind of plucking a little tune.
I walk over to the stage and like thumb flip a gold and onto the stage.
Okay, and he just kind of gives you a pleasant nod as he keeps playing.
Respect your fellow artists, people.
As you do this,
now I scan for the table.
Yeah, you turn, and now standing in the room, you turn and you see the table with some of your friends in, like, basically the farthest table, kind of in one of the openings that leads outside of the tavern onto the boardwalk, essentially. And Rhea, if you had been lingering outside, you would have seen Talina walk in.
As Talina was walking in, using that good old social stealth, walking in behind her and lingering for a little bit, trying to see where she ended up going.
Yep, you would have seen her walk up to the stage, flick the gold coin, turn and scan the room, and then see her friends over on the side. And if you kind of followed her line of line of vision, you would see the table with a 3-foot tall squirrel up on the table, a fiery-haired, red-skinned tiefling sitting at the table with a short little rock gnome guzzling a tankard of ale, a human with a rapier at his hip wearing freshly purchased studded leather armor, and a large dog sitting next to the table, just kind of lingering.
Would Rhea be able to recognize 2 of these individuals?
Yes, you would recognize Dax immediately. And
Dax is kind of hard to forget.
Yes, Dax, you don't see her yet. Not yet being the operative word. And I'm trying to remember, you ran into Tippy. Yes, you ran into Tippy. That's who it was. And
for a very short moment,
correct,
because of working at the tankard.
Yes,
so...
it was a quick, brief interaction, but it's a 3-foot tall squirrel. It stands out.
Yes.
And so you see Tippy on top of the table, and you do recognize. So between Talina, Dax, and Tippy, you kind of like, okay, I know where I'm at.
You'd also recognize the little ankle biter as referred to earlier.
Yes, you would recognize the ankle biter from earlier. Obviously, yes. Even with his back turned, but he's got his he's guzzling this of like the tankard, and so his head is starting to arc back as he guzzles the liquor.
Oh my gosh, I can only picture Spitwick just
think a Hobbit. Think a Hobbit when they discover a pint. It's basically that.
I do need to ask this because I love thinking of this camera angle that has happened. But as Spitwick is chugging back, and he's basically lifting back and looking dead behind him, he sees Rhea approaching in his upside down vision. With her usual smile on her face.
He doesn't tip his head back that far because he's more focused on his ale. So he doesn't see you in that regard, but that would that is a very funny vision in the sense of
that's a funny vision.
Yeah.
Anyways,
now, he does, however, once he finishes, as you approach the table, the tankard comes down and he sees and he starts kind of coughing a little bit as he catches a little bit of the ale in his throat and lets out a brrrt.
Good to see you.
And then, but he looking at you, and his eyes kind of glance the table. And it's at this point, Dax, that you would hear that and look over and see Rhea standing right next to the table
with her smug yet soothing style grin, I guess.
Dax immediately slams the tanker on she didn't chug hers like Spitwick did. So it's probably about half full, maybe a little less.
Okay, so you're not done yet. That's fine.
Yeah, so she immediately slams it on the table, pushes back from the table in her seat, and gets up and just walks out.
Okay, good.
Before once she's actually out of the tavern, she bolts down the nearest road she finds.
Okay.
Not the worst reaction I've ever had.
And what's weird is that she didn't make sure that Scorch was following her. So Scorch is just sitting there.
Yeah, Scorch perks up and sees you leave, but doesn't move.
Scorch is just sitting there cocking his head confused.
Yeah, he just kind of looks around. Just for my own purposes.
Yeah, I'm floating down the river.
rolling on a river.
Anyways, yes, that was the great introduction.
And Rhea, I mean, do any of you else react to Rhea approaching the table?
Or Dax running away?
I'm assuming this happens as I scan the room. So I just see Dax stand up and go, "Oh, that table," and then run away and not that table?
Yeah, pretty much.
And I followed Dax wherever the hell she's running to.
Okay. I I almost want to say the furthest you're able to follow her is outside Lunky Tankard, because once she's out, she immediately bolts it and turns down the next alleyway / street she sees.
I'll say this. Go ahead and roll me a stealth check, Daxori. And
Don't bother, because I'll choose to fail that.
And then Talina.
You can disappear if you want to.
Yeah, and then Talina, roll me a perception check.
Don't worry, I got a 26 anyways.
I'm choosing to fail it. You can choose to just roll. I
got a 26 anyways.
Okay, yeah. So as soon as you come outside thinking like you're gonna follow her, she's just gone. You can't find her anywhere.
Is the dog still inside?
Yeah, the dog's still at the table. Dog just kind of sat there, like perked its head up and kind of watched Dax leave and kind of cocked his head to the side, but didn't follow.
I walk back in, take Dax's chair, and just give Scorch some scritches to make sure that he knows everything's okay.
I'm not sure what her problem was, but hello, everyone.
Spitwick just kind of looks around and says,
Yeah, that was rude.
I would like to roll an insight on whether she actually doesn't know what Dax's problem is. I don't trust her for shit.
Alrighty then.
Yeah. Oh.
For future reference, you want to roll that to the DM so we can't see what kind of roll that is.
Okay, I'm sorry. For future reference, yes, but also...
Yeah,
I mean, don't worry about it.
Didn't really matter, but yeah. Yeah, you...
Cool. Yeah, no, she doesn't know.
She doesn't know Jack. Yeah, so confusion. Not sure what's going on there. Spitwick is kind of in that awkward thing where he kind of glances at everybody and he looks over at Tippy, who's like right next to him, just kind of shrugs his shoulders and says,
"Wait a minute. Wait. Oh, that's right. How's the bag?"
It's great.
Good. Hopefully it works, because not having a bag sucks. Do you know the rest of these guys?
And he like points around to Talina and Grigor. And
well, I just met Talina today. Our fuzzy friend earlier yesterday. This cute little pup yesterday as well, as she leans down and gives some scritches to Scorch.
Yeah.
But I'm not familiar with you. Looking directly at Grigor.
Pretty sure you served me breakfast the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yes, sorry, I have not gathered your name.
I'm Grigor.
And you, my fuzzy little friend?
Tippery.
Tippery. Well, I am Rhea. She glances right over to Spitwick in that little like, "Don't you say a goddamn thing."
And Spitwick starts to open his mouth as he gets the death stare, and it grabs the other tankard that just hasn't been touched yet and just starts immediately chugging it.
I love how I can scare that little guy. Anyways.
Spitwick has been through a lot in the past 2 weeks. Let's just remember that. As this is happening and kind of the introductions are being made, Dax, as you're running through the streets, do you continue to run or do you kind of stop after a minute and find a place to hunker down?
I am preparing ascending, just FYI.
She's not going to stop and find a place to settle down. But she's not going to continue to run. She slows down and just starts walking, kind of, once she gets what she feels is a comfortable enough distance away from the Lucky Tankard.
How far do you think? How long do you think she would have run? Or was she not paying
she
attention?
probably. She would have stopped running when she got that message from Talina,
Okay,
which
perfect.
I assume probably would have been like, I don't know.
The moment she sat down.
So, like, within seconds of you bolting.
Yeah, so she'd probably have only been like maybe. How do I ping?
Hold
Just
left click.
make sure you have the little selection, like the character selection tool, which is the little person and then the square, and then just left click
Yeah.
and hold.
So I mean, she runs pretty fast,
Mm-hmm.
so she probably would have only been like maybe somewhere. Nope, that's not working.
Well,
Oh
we
wait,
can
can I
see
not
your
do it because
cursor,
the
it's-
game's pod?
There.
I see you hovering, so I'm gonna ping
It
for
there.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, right there.
Okay.
I'm gonna do this, by the way. Okay.
And for chat, the message Selena would have sent is, "Hey, now, no need to run out. She doesn't bite, I think, unless you know something we should know about her. You coming back?"
And as the message hits you, do you stop or do you do anything physical?
No, so that she stops
Okay.
and starts walking as she sends a reply.
Okay. What does she say back? We need to have like a 25 like word template that we can just copy paste real quick so we can respond to messages.
I would not be hurt as a player at this table if you did it as a whisper or a private conversation
Ooh.
back to Lena, and then also to our dungeon master.
That's not a bad
Yeah,
idea.
how do you
It's
do?
up to you.
How do you do private again?
In Foundry, you're gonna do /W space and then the name of the player, not the character.
For Neon, you can do /W space GM.
Yeah, you can just do GM for me. I don't think you can do multiple people in a single message, so you'll want to do it to Ty and then copy paste it to me.
Well.
Oh, that worked. Wow, that's kind of cool.
What?
Oh wait, you sent that to.
That's because
Yeah, you sent it to his other GM account that he's gonna help me with something else.
well, no. So I sent it. No, so I sent it to Game Mat. So I sent it to the U, and then what happens if I do?
We're learning.
Yeah, you can press up to get the previous one. And then
Nope.
you can just change
Hold
the
on.
message.
I didn't know you could do multiple people.
You can if the filter matches both.
Try doing it to Tyrope, GM. Try that.
Yeah, that's what I
Don't
was
put in-
trying.
Don't
I
put a
wouldn't
space
say-
there.
Yeah, don't put space, and then only space once you're done with the listed peoples.
Yeah,
IRT.
that's what I'm doing. There we go. No.
Oh,
Oh,
that
yeah,
worked.
there
That
we
worked.
go.
I
Yeah,
don't
that
know
does
why.
work. Yeah, that does
I
work.
know why. Because GM will send it to all GMs because it's a role, not a name.
Yeah.
That's why. So yeah, don't worry about it. That's fine.
But
So
it's
so you can go ahead and do that then. That's cool. Look at that. We figured out something new.
We received the test. Also, is that comma space the other name or just a comma?
So that one it's Tyrope, Game Master, Tyrope GM because
Yeah. No, I meant how Shadow put it in.
oh
Because there might be a difference between this and that.
yeah, I don't know.
Because that second one might not work.
Yeah, we'll see here in a second. Also, while I'm waiting for this, total side note, I bought a lot of random D&D stuff today from a guy on Marketplace for $60.
12,
Nice.
13.
Yeah,
Heck yeah.
I got like $30 worth of dice. I got a bunch of cheap little like toy knights, which are too big to be minis, but could be like cool statues and stuff. And I got like some random terrain pieces. It was pretty neat.
How
No
long
such
is
thing
the
as too big
response?
to be
20,
25,
26 words?
25.
25.
words.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
This is really D&D. It's just all counting in numbers and math.
20.
It's just math.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Always has been.
Yep.
Always.
Oh,
will be.
can you do 2 languages in one message?
It's I think it's
Technically, they're just words. Yeah.
yeah, I guess, yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, it is just 25 words. It doesn't specify 25 words in the same
And
language.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't think about
Yeah,
that.
no. So, like, in my private message to you, can I do it in both?
Oh.
No, you
No,
can
I
only
don't
select
think
one
man.
language.
Frick.
Because it will. Now, if you want to send 2 separate messages in 2 separate, you can do that as long as the total word count's 25. I don't care. But
Yeah, I guess I'm gonna do that because
Yeah. mechanically, it'll only let you choose one language per message. Like as far as D&D is concerned, yeah, you can respond, in character in 2 different languages. You just have to send it as two separate messages.
Also, if you do comma stream, then stream can see it too. I just realized.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because I have it set up as a.
Yeah, I'll do.
Oh, actually, it has to be stream chat. I think is the one you need to send it to.
Stream chat's not online though.
Yeah, it's just stream.
It's just stream that's online.
Hold on. Let me test something here. That work? Hey, okay, yeah, it is just stream. Cool, nice. That's kind of neat.
And the best part is, if we whisper stream, Neon can't see it in Foundry.
Well, I'm doing you, GM, and stream.
That's fine.
Yeah.
All right, so this is the first part.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I promise to be a good noodle and not look at stream right now.
Well done.
It's /W and then, right?
Yeah, /W space, and then you're going to put in who you're sending it to.
All recipients.
Yep. I don't know if whispers can do different languages. I assume they can.
I don't think they do different languages. I think it's just a text.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
We're about to find out.
We're about to find out. We're doing it live, chat.
Is there a way you can type in the input box to get different languages?
If you hit that
search.
drop down.
So I'm gonna send this one as a test just to Neon, just to see if it will come out in the language I think it's supposed to.
Okay, we'll see.
No, it's just
yeah.
No,
Yep.
okay.
Yep.
Frick. Okay, well, you know what? We're gonna do this.
Okay.
Tyrope, you be a good noodle.
Hmm?
I said be a good noodle.
Why would I not be a good noodle? I'm never a bad noodle.
You'll see why.
Are you sending us another message, I assume?
Yeah,
Okay,
this is,
second
you know.
Okay, yep, just checking.
On.
Oh wait, I'm gonna.
I'm just gonna put this at the front of it.
Oh, so it's in other language.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep. Okay. So you send this message through. Dax, you feel this and you kind of slow to a walk and you mentally respond with this message, to which, Talina, you get back almost immediately. You hear the first part of that message in common, and then followed by a strange set of guttural and whisper-like sounds that you know is infernal because you've heard Daxori curse in infernal before, but you don't know what the words are.
And I will say, to the second part, you can tell that there's some fear behind it.
Gotcha.
And as you're
Oh yeah, because I guess emotions would still work. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. As you're responding to this, Dax, you suddenly feel a hand gently touch your left shoulder.
And she immediately swings around.
And as you swing around, you watch as Cassivus leans away from your swing and has his arms behind his back and has got a bit of smirk on his face. I expected as much. You always are quite a bit jumpy.
She's gonna put a hand, seeing that it's Cassivus. She doesn't take her guard down because, you know, Cassivus is a
Cunning rogue?
Yes. But she's gonna kind of like she's gonna put her hand on her hip and kind of like lean to the side.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want?
Oh, I was headed to the Lucky Tankard. I had something I wish to discuss with you all, but what are you doing out here on your own?
She kind of gives him like a sure you were type of look. She doesn't necessarily believe him. As for what I'm doing out here, it takes her a second to spit so she can stay without saying what she's doing out here. I'm getting some fresh air.
Very well. Are you headed back anytime soon?
No, I've got some business I got to deal with on the south side.
When will you return? I was hoping to speak to you all as a group. I had some interesting developments as of late that could prove interesting.
She raises one of her eyebrows. What do you mean by develop?
Well, someone that I know of has recently reached out to me through some back channel communication and has inquired about having you all work for them in a, shall we say, in a discreet capacity to look into some things. They've heard of your work and believe that, well, quite frankly, you're rather impressive.
She can't help but give a smirk at the words impressive. You know what? I will return within an hour or so. Don't wait up for me. I'll get any details I need to from them when I return if you're still not there.
Well, very well. Hopefully it won't take too long, but I hope to see you up there. I'll continue on, and he kind of looks you over a bit, and you kind of watch as you can tell he's like studying you and says, I do hope you're all right.
And she kind of she doesn't say anything immediately, except and then after a moment she kind of just turns around, and as she starts walking away, I'm trying to think of the best way to put this without it sounding depressing at the same time. Well, as she's walking away, she kind of she mumbles, but it comes out unintentionally loud enough for Cassivus to hear.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter if I am or not.
I mean, as you kind of start to voice, and he kind of almost under his breath says, well, I was at least concerned. And then he continues to kind of walk in the direction of the Lucky Tankard.
Cool. Dax is just going to continue walking down the road.
Okay, so she continues to walk away. Cassivus continues on towards the Lucky Tankard. As you guys are all having your conversations of kind of getting to know each other, and Talina, you've just received a response back from Dax, and it takes a couple of minutes, and then Cassivus walks through, kind of appearing from the shadows of the streets outside into the warm lighting of the tankard itself, and walks up to you all at the table. He says, "Oh, it's a pleasure you all made it. I'm glad to see that. How is everyone this evening?"
Lena frowns at his use of the word all.
He clocks
also,
it.
was there still an unclaimed ale on the table?
There is one tankard left.
Rhea would not have grabbed it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's mine.
Okay.
Are any of these seats taken? It is getting
Are there
rough
any
on my
open
feet.
seats? If there isn't a seat at the table, Selena would just like grab one of the ones that are at the adjacent tables.
Yeah, there's
shift it over.
There's plenty of open chairs, whether near to my tables or actually at the table, for sure.
So Rhea would grab a chair and pull it on up. And then give a nice customer service death glare with a smile to Cassivus.
And
Death glare with a smile.
And Cassivus starts to smile back, and you see his tiefling teeth that he doesn't show very often, and kind of smiles back a bit, and kind of pushes, almost like this unspoken pushback on aggression. And he sits down.
Just the uneasy alliance.
Uh-huh.
It's fine.
Yeah, and he sits down and says, well, obviously we are missing someone. I did happen to run into Miss Dexori on my way here. Apparently she had some errands she needed to run. It's bit of a shame, but she said she'd be back later. I hope this isn't a problem.
Oh, so that
Not
was
for
your
me.
friend's name.
Who, Miss Daxori?
She left before she even gave an introduction.
Oh, that's disappointing.
And she left this poor, poor furball down here with us. Again, giving Scorch scritches.
And he just is like, as he's enjoying all of it. Well,
He knows Dax will come back for him.
yeah, he's chill. Like, he's just hanging out. So yeah, he sits there, and Castus kind of looks around at everybody and says, "Well, I was hoping to have this conversation with the whole group, but no matter. I can either clue her in later, or you can do it for me. It's come to my attention," and he kind of leans in, and as he does, he glances at everybody, kind of like visually implying this is for everyone. Now, I know that our new little friend over here, and pointing to Tip, I know that you are not part of this group, and I know that you're... I dare use the word predecessor, because I don't believe that's accurate, but the creature you changed places with was a part of this group. But I hope that you will consider this offer extended to you because of the conversation that you and I just had earlier. And he's looking at Tip as he says this.
Okay.
Very well. It has come to my attention and has been brought to me through some sort of backstreet communication channels that an individual of high affluent nature and influence within the city has heard of your recent exploits and has expressed interest in wishing to procure and retain your services for some delicate work, some discreet work. Is this something that would interest you, or should I respond back and let them know that they need to look for someone else? And then kind of glances around to the whole group.
First reaction from Rhea is a nice, eyebrow raise. Back alley connections.
And he glances over at her. Not that, my dear. This is far beyond what you and I are accustomed to do together.
Oh?
Fair enough.
And he nods.
Formation of working together from the other side. Don't mind me. Just taking notes.
And he glances back away from her to the rest of the group. No, this is something that, quite frankly, even kind of surprised me. I don't typically concern myself with the matters of such individuals, but before I relay any more details, I have been specifically requested to find out if this is something that you're interested in. Depending on that, then as I am permitted to allow more information to escape my lips.
I'll be honest, my note-taking kind of took the brain fog to the game instead of my notes. What did he say again?
He said that there's someone of high affluent nature and influence within the city that has heard about your group's exploits and wishes to retain your guys' services for some delicate and discreet work.
Bet.
Yeah, Telena
just says bet. She just bet.
No, that was Ty. No, Telena is leaning in, clearly showing interest, but remaining nonverbal.
Gotcha. Okay.
Rhea would give her... Well, you did owe me something later on the line.
Well, here we are.
Nice turn with Gregor.
And I say, is that her answer? I take it.
Yeah, that was her answer
Okay.
of, I'm in because you owed me this job.
I gotcha. Just making sure. And then he glances to Spitwick, and Spitwick is almost done with his second tankard and stops and is one eye visible on the other side of the tankard and just kind of looks around. And Cassus rolls his eyes and says, "Good Lord, gnomes." Very well. And he looks over to Grigor and says, "Mr. Grigor, are you interested in such work, or is this beneath you?"
I'll accept.
Oops.
Very well.
That didn't work.
What were you trying to do? Oh.
That, but I didn't double bracket it.
Oh, gotcha.
Oh my god, nice.
Oh, you're lucky. Also, by the way, before I forget, there is a new dice set in Dice So Nice that just got released for the anniversary of Foundry. At least that's what it looked like. So there's a new one in there. It's like a lava one, which if anyone wants it, it's there. Very well. And he leans in and he kind of starts to speak in a more hushed tone and says, the individual that has reached out to me, I can't give the name in a public setting, but I can tell you that they are involved in the city government in this part of the world. They have reason to believe that there is, based on what they have heard through the rumblings of the city, that, first off, they know that you are the group responsible for dispatching and theoretically disbanding the Low Hood gang and getting rid of them, as they've not been seen pretty much since your little endeavor out to their stronghold out on the west side of the city. However, it has come to this individual's attention that it is possible that this group was working in conjunction, in concert, with someone also within the government. They are unsure as to who specifically. There is no evidence to substantiate these claims or corroborate them, other than some circumstantial evidence and more concern. This individual has requested that you all look into who they believe may be involved. This individual that they believe is involved, quite frankly, I am perplexed. Personally, that is my opinion. I am not convinced necessarily that this suspect is in fact suspect, but only one way to find out. And he kind of glances around the group as he says this. To put some points on it, and he stops. Miss Talina, you actually. He looks at Talina and he looks at Tip. You two are well versed in the ways of magic. Is there a way we can, I don't know, do something to make it a little more private where we're at, so people can't hear us as much?
I mean, there's backstage, but I'm not sure how that works with another performer currently performing. I have a way to make lip reading impossible, but that might also make getting eye contact among the group hard.
Ah, very well. What about you, my little furry friend? Do you have any tricks up your fur? Out of character, I genuinely don't know if you guys have spells that do this. It just made sense for him to ask.
No,
Rhea gives just an eye roll.
He clocks it and kind of gives her a side eye.
And just pointing at Cassivus and the ring on her right hand glowing a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
The spell message is sent. The cantrip.
Mm-hmm.
Have you forgotten about me?
And his eyes dart. His face doesn't move from facing the group, but his eyes shift and look at you. I wasn't aware you wished for me to bring that up, but since you did, and then his head turns to you. Do you have any tricks, my dear?
That message spell would have been only between us.
Yes, yeah. And that was him like mentally responding, and then he turns and audibly says, then that last part is like, so basically you said that his face was facing like away from you, but his eyes shifted as he mentally responded, and then his head shifts and he goes, is there anything that you have, my dear? And he says that verbally.
I can keep messages discreet between myself and each of us individually, but nothing that wouldn't cause me to be a central hub.
Very well. I don't like conducting business in public. Is there any way to... Mr. Lena, you mentioned backstage. Is there something... It doesn't have a room here, anything more private?
I can probably get that arranged. Who's behind the bar at the moment? Is it Durnham or
It's
the
Durnham.
female?
No, it's Durnham.
But I'm just gonna walk to the bar and ask Durnham if there's a free room that we can use for like an hour.
Durnham looks at you
For an hour. Well, I mean, we don't do that kind of thing around here. You know what?
Just give him this "hello, I work here" kind of look.
He
Like,
just kind
I
of
don't
raises
need
his
it
eyebrows and says,
professionally. I just need to use it.
All right, well, I'm not going to ask too many questions. All right, go for it. Just don't make a mess.
Cool. I glance at the group and give him this little like head tilt nod towards the stairs, and I just go up to whichever room is slightly ajar so that I know it's free.
Cassavus sees this, nods, stands up, and looks at us and says, let's continue this in private, if we may.
Of course. Rhea also stands and will follow the group.
Cassavus actually goes
Not
to pick
leaving.
up the bowl of nuts that at this point is probably almost empty. I imagine, unless it's not.
Oh no, it's pretty much empty.
He goes to pick, oh, all right. And he reaches over to another table that has a bunch of patrons around it, and he just reaches into the middle of the group. And like, all right, what are you doing? He says, don't mind me, friends. I don't believe you're using these. And he grabs the fresh bowl of nuts that's basically untouched and grabs it and goes, more snacks, and then walks towards the stairwell.
And on that note, Tippy will follow.
Nice.
Bribing the squirrel with snacks.
Yes, absolutely. And as you guys all continue through the room, make your way upstairs and find the empty room. Dax, how are you doing?
That's a loaded question there for Dax.
It is a loaded question.
So Dax has, at this point, is now just kind of wandering around. And she's kind of made her way towards Amber Point unintentionally.
Okay.
Until she takes a seat.
Mm-hmm.
She finds a chair that she just sits down on.
Mm-hmm.
And it takes her a second to realize that she sat down next to someone.
Mm-hmm.
And when she realizes what the person looks like, she immediately gets up and just walks away because she felt creeped out.
Well, okay, I'll let you tell me. Who'd she sit down next to?
So the person she sat down next to, she could tell that it was a woman, and she had a kind of like a black jacket on, and she couldn't tell if it was robes or something like that, but she was wearing black. She had a plague doctor mask on that had purple glowing eyes, and she was kind of just sitting there. She couldn't tell if she was meditating or what, but she didn't like the look of it, so she just got up and walked away once she realized she sat down next to this person.
What the heck?
And as you kind of get up and walk away, the plague
Leon
doctor
knows exactly who I just referenced.
I do, and it actually kind of works out well. The doctor mask kind of looks over and cocks its head, but no sound escapes as you walk away. And then the individual shrugs its shoulders, gets up, and walks in the opposite direction.
Yeah. She could definitely tell though she was a either she was some type of magic user.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Still just kind of wandering though.
A little bit, yeah. She's kind of going at a slower pace now.
Okay. All right. Well, with some wandering, we'll go ahead and I guess we'll zip on back to the tankard then. And as we get back over to the tankard, huh?
I'm sorry. I had to. I had to throw that in there.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
I don't understand the reference, but we can talk about it
Good.
later.
Yeah, that's actually a good thing. As we get back to the tavern, as you guys head upstairs and the sound of the patrons all mingling with each other and the sound of the loot and everything kind of starts to fade, and you can hear it coming from downstairs, but it's more muffled. You find yourselves in one of the larger, currently unoccupied rooms with sort of a sitting area kind of in the middle, and then some bed off to the side. Fox, that's brilliant. 100% well done. And everybody kind of files into the room. You guys can take your seats wherever you'd like. Cassivus picks a seat that has his back to the wall, and he's facing the door. And he kind of waits for everybody to get comfortable before he continues what he was talking about.
Ray would make sure to be as close to Cassivus as would be possible.
Okay.
Sitting basically adjacent to him.
Cassivus sets down the little bowl of nuts on a little side table right next to the chair and just sets it there and essentially waits.
Assuming the dog didn't go with Grigor, who I think was the last one to stand up, she would whistle as she goes up the stairs.
Okay.
And take a seat at whatever chair is available if she's the last one up.
I would say for the whistle, go ahead and roll me an animal handling check, please. Because up to this point, Scorch has been lingering around a singular individual, more or less, does know the rest of you and isn't scared of you, but isn't accustomed to following you. Okay.
I would say he's accustomed to following Talina, because Talina, remember Talina when they were in the mansion originally, did do some
that's right,
animal handling with Scorch.
I forgot. I'm gonna take that back. Yes, with the whistle, Scorch gets up and trots across the room and up the stairs and follows you upstairs.
Excellent.
Yep. Okay. As everybody files into the room, however you guys may be. He looks a little more relaxed now and says, I apologize for the vagueness. This city has ears everywhere. I would know. I pay most of them. But this is the sort of conversation I'd prefer to not be had in open public. That was a strange bird.
Sorry. Fucking phone.
Sorry, that was perfect timing. This is very well. To be more specific, Lord Evantrin Nephilier heard of your exploits and reached out to me through some back channel or communication. Heard about your recent dispatchment of the Lowhoods, as well as your recent journey through the catacombs. He had let me know that he had recently sent an investigative team down to the catacombs to try to figure something out that he had been looking into and never heard back from them. And when he got word that the Lowhoods had seemed to have vanished and there was some sort of scuffle down in the catacombs, somehow he put two and two together and figured out that you were possibly involved. Not you, of course, my dear. And he looks to Tip. But some of you, along with the friends that are no longer here. Anyways, he believes that you might be a better suited for digging into this matter than anyone else he seems to have been trying to hire as of late. He believes, and I don't quite feel I share this belief, but maybe it's true, who knows, that Dr. Tobias Arkwright, the representative of North Duruun on the city council, is in fact behind, or in some way, shape, or form, I should say, connected to what the Lowhoods were up to. I'm not sure if I believe that. There is circumstantial evidence to substantiate that, but I'm not sure I believe it. He believes that the Doctor is involved, and he would request that you and your compatriots here, along with your newfound companion, and hopefully Miss Helria over here, would look into this matter and try to find any sort of evidence that could substantiate this particular claim that Dr. Tobias is involved with the Lowhoods. Hold on, I'll spell it for you.
By the way, at the full name drop, Helrea will just kind of glance to Cassivus and then over to Talina and give the nice customer service smile as she's just kind of sitting there.
And he gives you back a look of like, two can play at this game. But it's very subtle, and it's not meant as a threat, more as like there's information works two ways.
Rhea knows that Talina knows. That's the look she's getting back.
Yeah. But it is my hope that you would at least look into this matter and keep an open mind. the Lord may be correct. It could be the fact that he has information that I don't have. It is possible. I'm not sure. But does this sound like something you might be interested in looking into, or is this something that you'd rather not concern yourself with?
You should know this is right up my alley for work.
Yeah, I wasn't really concerned about you, my dear. I figured this was something you were looking into and quite eager to get involved in.
Now that I know more of the juicy details, it's going to be even easier.
Well, maybe. As some of you may know, the city of Duruun on the surface is prim and proper and clean and a wonderful place for society, trade, commerce, education, arts, athletics, and so on. On the underside of it, it is a seedy mess with a twisted spiderweb of drama, of elusive actions, secrecy, backstabbing, murder, usurping, you name it. It happens here, and it happens usually right under the noses of the populace. People are very good at keeping the things they want hidden in this city, for the most part. And he glances around at the rest of you.
I would ask, wait, are you still describing Duruun, or are we moved into Aridlan territory here?
No, I am in fact describing Duruun. The city is very old and has many secrets, and unfortunately a lot of them typically remain secrets, for the most part, like I say. There are those of us, and he glances over to Rhea, there are those of us who are quite skilled in unearthing some of those secrets and finding their value.
Oh, I'm all for a little mystery.
Very well. What about the rest of you? Mr. Softward, what about you?
I'll do it,
All right. And you, my little furry friend, I know that you're seeking your purpose here. It sounds like this might be why you may be here, as you mentioned to me that you are quite good at getting into places, sneaking around, yes?
Oh yeah, I'm very good at it.
Would this be something you're interested in? I know you don't quite know these people yet, but... Don't listen to Tyro. I'm having a hard enough time keeping you guys together, and over here like, say no, I dare you.
I also said don't after. Jeez, pitting me as the bad guy for the chat here.
I'll do it.
Good, I'd hoped you might. And he grabs some of the nuts out of the bowl and eats a few of them. And he looks down at Scorch. I imagine this one will be tagging along, yes?
Scorch is gonna bark at him and wag his tail.
Very well, very well. It sounds like you'd like to get out there and get your tail wagging, or your blood moving. As for Daxori, I was hoping that she'd be here for this, but I'm not really sure where she went. It doesn't seem like she's running errands based on how long she's been gone, unless I'm mistaken.
Sending stones don't have a minimum range, do they?
Sending stones?
Yes, they
Well,
don't.
no, but sending stones can only go to another stone.
Yes, that's fine. I need to reach Cassavas, but I don't have third level spell slots left, so I just wanted to make sure.
Oh, I got you.
Just randomly, badink, text message on your
Yeah.
phone.
Don't mind me.
You have mail.
Wait, so you're just going to use the sending stone in the same room as him?
Yeah, give me a second to write up the message, but yes. I just
hilarious.
I just reach into my pouch and hold it as I'm muttering below my breath.
Mm-hmm.
Which is not the hold up.
My understanding is you have to speak into the stone. I could be wrong. My understanding is you have to actually hold the stone and speak into it like a radio.
Hang
on.
Check. Let's read the description of it.
Yep. Oh, no, it says while you touch one stone, you can cast sending from it.
Sending.
Okay,
yeah,
I take
and
it back.
sending.
So yeah, you can do. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. cool.
However, is it still an audible or barely audible?
It does have vocal component to it. It's VSM.
May I
Mm-hmm.
perception this?
Yes, you may. So, what we're gonna do for that then is I want Tyrope. I want you to roll me a stealth check to see if you can mutter this quiet enough.
I'm gonna do that.
Oh, I should do that too. Hang on. Wait, no, I should do mine publicly.
I would.
All right.
That'll do, right? That'll do. That'll do. Yeah, that'll do.
Dirty
Yeah,
20.
it will. It will. So, Talina, you slide your hand into your pocket, grip the stone, and then just almost completely illegible to anyone around you. Just kind of move your mouth ever so slightly, and you're just very softly muttering those words. There is sound coming out. It is just very quiet. Rhea, you're sitting there, and you kind of glance over, and you do notice her lips are moving, but you don't hear anything coming out. And it's almost like, it looks more like she's trying to like kind of thinking through something, and her lips are kind of following her thoughts, is kind of what it sounds like, what kind of it looks like. But you don't make out any words.
Okay. Quick question for DM. And
Yes.
I'm probably going to either whisper it to you or send in a DM as
Okay.
well. I'm gonna just send a DM. Whispers
fine.
scare me.
And what message did Talina send to Cassibus?
I'm counting words, and I think I'm gonna fall short. So this will be fun.
I don't think does sending stone have a word count limit?
Yeah, it just lets you cast
Is
sending.
it just lets you have sending? Okay, gotcha.
Oh, I can just remove the last bit. Perfect. /W.
And I've been playing that wrong in my in-person game.
Shadow, did you put a space after the comma when you whispered several people?
No. Yeah, I just did /W space name, comma, name, and then a space before my text.
And since I don't want to send screenshots so that stream can see it, trust me, that's 24 letters. 24 words.
Okay. So, the rest of you, what, dude? Why does my screen keep flickering? I don't understand.
Check your ports.
I mean, I might have to, but I'm not even touching them.
Check your ports on your tower and out on your monitor.
Yeah, I'll have
Make
to
sure that the display port is actually seated proper.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out. Okay. So as you guys having conversation, and Talina does that, a couple of you would notice that Cassivus's head kind of shifts slightly towards Talina with a cocked eyebrow, and then glances over at her, glances around the rest of the room, and finishes by kind of glancing over at Rhea. Interesting. And he doesn't respond for obvious reasons.
Yeah, that doesn't need responding.
Yeah, no.
Something on your mind?
Yes. May I speak to you for a moment?
Is that to Ray or to me?
Oh, I apologize.
Oh.
No, speak to Rhea. I have something I need to speak to her about. I just thought of it.
Well,
Potential
of course.
issue. We'll be right back. And he steps out into the hallway of out just outside the room. You follow?
Hellrhea would follow, and immediately when they're in the hallway and the door shuts, dropping that mask of a facade, you don't understand how hard it is to keep a smile like that.
Oh, trust me. I've worked customer service. I understand. I have
What is the issue?
One second. Actually, yes. The issue is, it has come to my attention that I believe you may be having ulterior motives here. What are you up to?
Ulterior motives. Whatever would you mean?
Well, you tell me.
I simply seek knowledge and what I can use with that knowledge.
No, I understand how you do what you do. I'm asking what you're up to. Why is it that young Daxori, someone who I've seen and heard do some despicable things, seems to be acting strangely not around you, but since you've resurfaced, shall we say?
The tiefling girl.
Yes, the tiefling girl. And his demeanor it's in the same way you dropped like your customer service vibe. His like more suave, kind of like put together persona has kind of boiled back down to his more seedy roots of kind of running the Undercity, and his position kind of changes too. Well, care to explain?
I believe she might have seen through the illusion.
Well, I don't see how that would be an issue.
As she holds up her hand and shows the ring, just as the explanation.
And as you hold up the ring, you hear a voice in the back of your head.
And, hello? Do you want to let me out of here? Please let me out.
Question, would she have ever heard this before?
Yes, she has.
Immediately just kind of swinging the ring to the wall to hit it.
Ow! What did I do to you? Why did I deserve this? Rude.
In the back of her mind, silence. The grown-ups are talking.
I love that way the grown-ups are talking. Cassius rolls his eyes. Oh, good grief. If she saw through the illusion, what does it matter? It shouldn't affect her, correct? Shouldn't be an issue.
It's merely an illusion curse at this point. I don't know what she had seen, but obviously it was something enough to trigger her and make her run off. Scared. Twice now.
Well, if we're going to have this thing that we need to get taken care of, and you so painfully want a job, we'll need to fix this.
Can I trust them?
He kind of glances towards the door. Well, I'd like to say yes. They were quite reliable in the last job. Took them a little longer than I anticipated, but something that started as merely gathering some plans and schematics turned into them dismantling and disorganizing an entire criminal organization here on the south part of the city. So I'd say they're pretty effective, yes.
That's not what I meant. Can I trust them to know and keep it to themselves?
I suppose that's a gamble you're going to have to take, my dear. I've trusted them with quite a few things, including the location of my office, so be that as it may, take that as what it's worth.
I don't trust very many people with that, that's for sure.
No, I do not. Speaking of trust, the longer we sit out here and murmur, the more they're going to ask questions and have less trust in both of us. So I imagine we better get back in there. But, and he holds his finger up right in front of her, not like in a threatening way, but kind of like a careful, like, we need to be careful, only because I need them for this job, and unfortunately, I need you, and you need them, and we all need each other. So let's behave, shall we?
Of course.
Very well. And he turns and he opens the door and steps back in.
Customer service face back. Shall we return?
Yeah. And as he steps back inside, Talina, are you still at the door?
I was trying to get any words at all.
Sure.
I couldn't figure out what they were saying.
You did hear
this afterwards.
You heard muffles and murmurs, and you heard a thwack of something hitting the wall. And then
Was that the wall that is on the same side as the door, or
yes,
did she
yes.
hit? the other side. Okay,
No, it
then
would have
I'm
been.
pretty sure everybody in the room
Yeah,
would
we
have
all
heard
heard
that thwack.
Yeah, a thwack out in the hall, and then a couple seconds later they step back in. Would you have like quickly returned to the group, or be like at the door when he opens it?
The thwack would have startled her,
Okay.
but she'd still be at the door.
Okay.
But like not like cartoon, like kneeled in front of the door, ear against it, but
Yeah.
like she's stood up and is maybe a step or two away from the table towards the door.
Okay.
And as that door opened, she like tries to be nonchalant and like just does a little circle walk around the room, just like to quote stretch her legs a little.
Okay. I won't make you roll for it, but as he walks in, he kind of his eyebrow raises and he clocks what you're doing and says, "Sorry, that was longer than I anticipated. Just some details that I wanted to work out with Miss Rhea here."
Rhea is closing the door as he's talking, and also whatever locking mechanism, she is hitting the locking mechanism.
Yeah, there's a key. There's a big old like key in the door that you can just turn and locks the door.
And just the loudest ka-chunk of the lock.
Yep, and it locks. But with that taken care of, hopefully we can involve Miss Daxori sooner rather than later. If there's anything that any of you can do to try to encourage her to return, I would appreciate it. But no pressure there. And he kind of glances between Tip and Talina, and as he sits down, he kind of catches Rhea's eyes and kind of subliminally passes along that same message of like,
And speaking of trust, and making sure that we all get along. And you can tell that the facade is fading.
Yeah. So
she
as
is not happy about this choice.
And as she says this, and I don't think I have the files ready, so I can't do it right now. But as she says this, and speaking of trust, this illusion starts. Basically, you start to see kind of this shimmer effect start to cross over Rhea from head to toe, and it literally looks like a water ripple effect that starts from her head and just kind of wafts back and forward, and then starts to swirl around her very, very lightly. It almost looks like a haze that you see on like a road on a hot day. And as it does, you watch as bone-colored horns start to appear on her head. Her eyes start to become more red. Her teeth are a bit more pronounced, and a deep purple tail starts to appear flickering behind her.
To correct the description just a little bit.
Oh, did I get it wrong?
So it's just a little bit correction here.
Okay.
So the horns will be matching her skin tone up until a black tip.
Oh, okay. I
Her
misunderstood that.
eyes, you had the eyes correct, where the iris color basically bleeds to the sclera, and it's a pure red for her eyes. And then, in a very fanciful kind of flourish, her tail, which is a thin, spaded tail, kind of uncoils itself from around her dress and appears at her back.
I found the picture. I should have looked at that first. My apologies.
Yes, it's fine.
Yep. But yeah, and we're gonna go ahead and end that there with Rhea now revealing her true self to the rest of you, and we'll go ahead and pick this up next time because one of our players is exhausted and needs sleep.
Ta-da! Big reveal.
Ta-da! And actually, I think. Did I do?
Are we playing again this week?
Not this week.
Gosh, I wish.
Not this week. No.
Oh, I don't have. Oh wait. Oh, I don't. I thought I had another avatar set up for Rhea's
Not yet.
True form. I do have the crop cut out. I thought I had a layer already built in OBS.
Okay.
I do not, so I have to go do that.
Yeah,
but...
have fun. You're gonna be bouncing between those ones.
Well, what I'll do is now
Sometimes.
that you've revealed her true self, is for OBS, I'm just gonna turn on the true form, and then obviously, and like we'll have a token that'll swap back and forth as a token. But
okay, fair enough.
yeah, because it's not easy. I mean, I can build a separate layer, but it's kind of a pain to do that in OBS. So
fair.
Yep. But yeah. Sorry
Right.
that energy levels are dipping. I know that sucks. So yeah, no problem. We'll end a little early tonight, and we'll pick this up again. I think
Next time.
I think yeah,
Next
time.
week.
Next week I think is open. I don't think I have an issue with next week. So
I gotta check my work schedule, but I
Yeah,
think I'm good.
we'll figure that out for sure.
We'll figure
Yeah, I'm good.
scheduling after
Yep.
everything.
Good deal. Okay, cool. Well, thanks guys for playing.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll definitely get this VOD up on YouTube sooner rather than later. I'll probably be able to do it tomorrow as I'm off work tomorrow because it's the 4th. Before I head down to my parents' house. If not, it'll go up Saturday because I'm going to be doing a whole bunch of D&D prep stuff for my in-person stuff on Saturday. So I'm pretty excited.
On that note, bye, chat.
Yep. Bye,
Bye,
chat. Thank you so much.
Also,
Bye.
bye, YouTube. Bye, YouTube.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And if anybody's baked it this far in the YouTube video, they should totally put something in the comments. Like, I don't know, maybe a carrot emoji or something. Let's see how many carrot emojis we get to the end of the.
Yeah.
I guess.
And they'll six. Go ahead.
Put poor Dax in the comments.
Yeah. Yeah. Poor Dax.
Poor
There you go. Yeah.
Dax.
Or Dax.
If you
Yeah.
watched the YouTube video this far, put poor